Yeah. Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings. Tonight is the night that the Knicks send Boston home to bed. In Boston. We will do it tonight in Boston. I know we got a lot of disbelievers out there, but right now it's not about the Knicks or Boston. It's about Naphtali. Naphtali's tonight. And she will be going in. The new school of thought. Biblical breakdown. Who are the Canaanites? That's the question right there. A lot of people is going back and forth with that. So we want to find out who are the Canaanites? Simple as that. Can anybody tell us? Naphtali steps up to the plate and gives her explanation. Nah, brother. No, sir. Black to Egypt TV. No, I am, especially on sa.neter Studios. I am blocked on sa.neter Studios. I'm shadow banned over there and over here. And just because you got a notification don't mean I'm not shadow banned. See, you one of the ones that they elect to get a notification. What they do is they say we're going to give 200 people, 200 or 300 people notifications. Even though we see he got over 200,000 subscribers, we just going to open it up to like 200 or 300 people. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man outside the Cube. I seen you going in last night, Cube. Cube, you funny. You funny, man. You and Lex was going in last night. I see y'all dudes. You really think that you gonna pound on my man? You gonna beat the brakes off my man, Elder Yara? Don't sleep on him, Cube. Don't sleep on him, Cube. Please don't sleep on him. Because you see, y'all slept on the Knicks. You slept on the Knicks, right? And look what happened. You slept on the Knicks, right? Come on outside the Cube. You better wake up. You done slept on the Knicks, and look what happened, buddy. We are 3-1. All these dudes, I mean, I know a lot of people lost a lot of money, man. Woo! They lost a lot of money, man. Betting millions, thousands on Boston. We're going to finish him off tonight. And I'm going to tell you why we're going to finish him off tonight, Cube. Because we can't allow Atlanta to get all that rest, man. We can't allow Atlanta to get all that rest. You know what I'm saying? And I was thinking that too, Cube. You know, that would be crazy. Minnesota and the Knicks for the finals. You know, Julius Randle going to show his ass. You know, Karl Anthony Towns going to show his ass. You know that. That's what will make that finals awesome right there. Yeah, Julius Randle could come back and win. I like Julius Randle defense a lot better than Karl Anthony Towns. And I like his toughness a lot better than Karl Anthony Towns. I like his toughness, brother. I like how he bogarts. You know what I'm saying? He got them big shoulders. I like how he bogarts down low in the paint. So, I mean, as this thing was going on, I was like, damn, I wish we did have Julius Randle right now. You know? But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. So right now, I'm just waiting on my sister to come on in and hit the panel, and we're going to get things started. We're going to get things started. 5:30, Naphtali should be in the building. And let me get this on right now, because we got to welcome her back to what?
Time to set the stage with the lights off. Let the little nigga breathe till the fight's lost. You ain't never like the room with the bright sauce. Hail Mary, they despise what the light brought. Let them roach niggas bleed if they can't see. sa.neter TV, what you can't be. They say that murder on my mind, now they can't breathe. Take a picture of the crew, that's your last peep. Oh, and need me or love, yeah, that's just me. Keep them jumping like some frogs, so they might be what the sun say. And they don't really wanna bleed from the gunplay. And like mine, niggas smoking weed on the one-way street, nigga. Yeah, we see we outside with it. Pull up to the base like we might be with it on guard. Side these niggas like bullshit and they fraud. Let me chop them down with the sword. Walk them down like they live hard. This the toughest you gon' be in, we too hard. And you don't really want that smoke, my G. With sa.neter TV. This the toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Keep that off your lip before you get flipped. We got sources over here, we don't just spit. Too many bosses over here, y'all just legit. Put them niggas in the game, let them get real. Don't even step unless you come in with that scholarship. That economic tip, gotta make a dollar flip. And I might be next, I don't give a damn, a truth rolling with me, so I'm feeling like the son of man. Too many gon' hate, gotta make a stand. I'm just tryna duck the lake, you don't understand. Read them when I greet them, that's my best plan. Head first shit, I'm just saying. Nigga meet me in LA, oh you just playing. Too many be fake, what the base saying. So I tell them they don't want no smoke before they end up in the newspaper next day. Smoke, this the toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. And this is it right here. The toughest you gon' ever be in. You wasn't conscious before us. Y'all niggas was asleep. We woke the sleeping giant. We did it. sa.neter TV. So stay your ass in your little bitty box where you feel safe. Cause it's motherfucking monsters over here. Real monsters.
Peace and Pan-Africanism. It's your brother Herman Smalls in the toughest environment you can be in.
Yeah. Y'all already know what it is. Peace and blessings. Welcome to the toughest environment to be in. Naphtali, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey, Shalom, most high blessed to you, sa.neter. How are you doing?
All right, same to you. Most high blessed to you as well. I see that you're going to be getting into who are the Canaanites. And so we need to really go in on that. I need you to really break that down because it's been going back and forth. Some people say the Israelites are the Canaanites. Some people say the Canaanites are white people. I mean, there's a lot of confusion going on. So I hope you are here to really break it down and show your information.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to provide this to your audience. A lot of my so-called fellow brothers out here, they pretty much give me the blind, they turn their faces and ignore me, like this information that I'm providing is not valid and not even trying to have a conversation. So
Well,
I'm
now,
here to bring this information out and it's truth.
yeah, now you see how Nepal feel because they do the same thing to her. You know, for
Oh
some
yeah.
reason, I think they scared of the sisters, man. They scared of y'all, Naphtali. The brothers don't want to get caught getting beat by women.
Is that what it
You know?
is?
Yeah,
It's not
I
about
think
that
that's what
though. It's
the
about the,
Israelites.
the truth. It's about the
Yeah,
word. It's about the most high.
exactly. But Israelites don't want to get caught up, getting caught out there by a sister. I'm telling you, that's what it is.
One thing that I learned about this whole Canaanite thing, and I didn't know I was going to be talking about this. I've been teaching on this now for about 7 years, and I've been trying to catch up with Ron for the longest with this whole thing. And what I noticed is, it's like, why am I still having to talk about this? Uh, I'm not sure if it's people are just not able to compute, not able to understand, or they just don't want to. And I'm starting to feel like people just don't want to accept the information. And
It's not about them not wanting to accept the information. I told you what it is. Because they will sit down with a brother and have this type of discussion. But when you notice it when there's a woman and she's smart and intelligent and know how to go in, they don't want that smoke with the sisters. They make up excuses. They say, I don't really want to debate women. That's what they do. They make up excuses like that.
Yeah, all of a sudden where's my husband? I'm sure you won't ask me where's my husband when you're talking to me at my job. I work in corporate, but
Mm.
interesting how my husband has to appear. He doesn't. I'm sure their wives work as well. I'm sure nobody's asking where's their husband. So it's interesting when it comes to the Bible. Out of all things, a woman needs to have her husband at is to talk about the Bible.
Yeah, why is y'all worrying about her personal life? Like, come on, man. Y'all got to stop that nonsense.
I don't know, but shout out to the ones that do, my elder Quana, of course, my brother Sharsham, my brother Zion Alex, of course, thank you all so much for providing the sister an opportunity, and may the Most High bless.
See, even Cube agree with me. Some dudes are scared. Cube said, yeah, man, some dudes are scared. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I know Captain be scared to sit down with women. He make up all, why I say that? Because sisters could be walking by outside and Israelites can be holding camp. And what do? Fire off. They start banging and going in on the sisters, right?
Yeah.
But now when they calling you out, you running from them. You don't want the smoke now when you want to sit down because you want to try to be classy now. You want to try to be I don't bang on the women. Yes, the hell you do.
Yeah.
Yes, the hell we can pull up mad videos and show that.
Well, I got some things about Tazariak. He called me BICTH. So, I got some things.
When he did that.
Well, I don't want to. No. I'm minding my own business. I'm on my Facebook page and I'm attacking the atheists as I do. And Unc left a comment. He shared it to me. And guess who was in there? It was Tazariak. He was in there, going with Unc against me. And so I started leaving comments to him like, okay, let's debate. Let's do it. And, going back and forth with him. Next thing I know, he said, leave me alone. And the word was in there.
Not the captain, man. Well, let me
I never reached out, never said anything to this man, and don't know why he's acting like I'm the one that was initiating it. I was just responding.
Yeah, that's not good, Captain. That's not good.
I got the receipts. So,
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, because a lot of people be asking me too. You shouted out Quana. Quana always talking about debates. How come your elder don't get in the ring? Like, why is he afraid to get in the ring? Nobody, Q put it in the chat right now that he never seen Quana debate nobody.
He want to debate you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he said he want to debate you.
On what though?
I guess you don't believe in a God, you know, so I guess, you know, is
And
you know, we're not.
I will beat him up bad.
I don't know about that.
I'm telling you, Cube don't believe in God either, right? I will go with Cube and he will beat him down bad. Make him look silly.
He wants to debate you. He wants to he said he wants to, you know, put you in.
He wanted to debate me, huh?
Yeah, he wanted to debate you. He's serious too. He said
Okay,
he'll
so
debate you.
Next time you speak to him, tell him I'm for it. I would love to do it, and we got to get a topic. I would love to.
Okay, I'm sure he'll be in the chat. Oh, he's in the chat. Most High bless. He in the chat.
Oh man, yo, hey, Quana, listen, brother. If you really want the smoke, I want the smoke. I would love to get in the ring with you, brother. We just got to come up with a topic, and that I will embarrass you, brother. So you picking me because you think I'm the weakest link, but I'm telling you, man, I will embarrass you, brother. Let's get a topic.
All right, well, let's do it. Let's set it up. But I know you got this Knicks game, so I want to get started on this.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, how you knew that? You knew that, right?
So I heard you. No, I heard you talk about it.
Without any further ado, family, we bring to you Naphtali, the new school of thought. She will be breaking down biblical breakdown of who are the Canaanites. And without any further ado, I pass you the mic, sis. You got it. Do what you do.
All right. Thank you so much, Elder sa.neter. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'd like to say shalom and most high bless to all of you guys out there in the chat. I will be talking about the Canaanites tonight. Why? Because the Canaanites are actually very important. We have found out how important they are, and I'm going to share that with you. But before that, I'm talking about Ron, and I'm also talking about priest or deacon, and I want to be talking about him and their doctrine and the information that they're out here teaching and showcase how it's wrong and how they need to stop. But will they stop? That's the question. But let's just see. But I'm going to present to you guys first a very quick video of their positions. So let me share that with you. Share my screen. Let's see. There we go.
Your screen is sharing.
All right. Oops. Why is this taking forever to play? Okay, there. Is I'm actually searching for the truth, regardless if it's something that I feel like, you know, I agree with or not. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to listen to it. However, when it comes to the Canaanites, are you saying that they are the African pygmies? Is that correct?
Yeah. The Canaanites are the African pygmies, or the hunter-gatherer African tribes. And you will see
Sakari really finna make the Israelite community look bad by bringing this out, by talking about this. Y'all don't know what it is, man. Y'all don't know what it is. Let me tell you, before we go into it, this will be proven. God has Africans prostituting for Israelites. This is a fact. God has Hamites, particularly the Canaanites, prostituting, getting riches, storing it up for the Israelites so that they can have the wealth and the riches. Now, but watch this. Nigeria, where most of the damn Canaanites are, and we're going to prove that. Nigeria, where most of the Canaanites are, 44, almost 46.
Hey, do you teach that the Canaanites are white people, brother?
Hell nah, man. Whoever's teaching that needs to go to drug rehab, bro. Period.
She right here. She right below you right now. She teaching
that. Man, that's crazy, man. The Hamites was white.
Yep.
Queen Naphtali, what's going on?
You know what? I want to comment on this actual video right here. This video was actually made about me. Garfield went live on me, talking about me, making fun of me. And instead of my brother Priest hopping up on there to support me, he actually came on there to talk about me too, and talk about how ridiculous I was. But let's just keep going.
Oh, that's what we teach you. That's crazy.
Yes, I'm right here. I am. I'm right here. What's going on, Deacon? What's going on? Most High bless.
What's going on, sis? You're live on the show. Question, comment, smoke. Smoke.
Hey, Shalom. Most God bless to you, Priest Akai and Hassad. How are you guys doing tonight?
Most High in Christ.
All right. I'm so glad to be on you all's panel. I have a couple of questions. Do you guys have time for me tonight?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This is all based off of history. Just like how you guys go based off of how we find out that we're the children of Israel. It's the way that we can find out that Caucasians, Native Americans, Hispanics all go back to the Canaanites.
Okay, so Canaanites are white people. Oh. So the sister asked what we meant when we said pseudo in the chat earlier.
Did she just hang up?
Yeah, I didn't kick her off.
She just said what she had to say and hung up.
So white people are Canaanites, basically. That's what she's saying. White people are Canaanites, yet Ethiopians, who are brethren to Canaanites, are a completely different race. Yeah, she dropped the mic.
That's not checkers, man. That's not checkers. Anyway, we got Naphtali in the back.
Lord have mercy.
I thought you had to close out.
You know, sa.neter, this is Naphtali. Naphtali believes that the Canaanites are white. So she says, so let's just say the Egyptians are black, the Cushites are black, the Puttites are black. These are the sons of Ham. So Ham had 4 sons. 3 of his sons are black. The other son, Canaan, is white, the white race. That right there is a major fail. Major fail. You can't sit here and say that the Egyptians are black, but then the Cushites are white.
Okay. All right. Time to wake them up now, Naphtali.
So
Bring
they
the smoke
said
now.
that that's a major fail. He said a major fail. You guys heard that? See how he was laughing? It was a joke. My thing is, why can't Canaan have white children? Why? I mean, Shem can have as many different races of children as he wants. You know, everybody, the Asians, the Caucasians, the Hispanics, everybody. But when it comes to the one group the main group that can do whatever they want to, they're not, grounded by any laws. they just only made it amongst themselves, which is the most craziest thing I've ever heard. But that's the story that they're going to tell, and that's the story they're sticking to. But let's get started on this. All right, guys, so this is my presentation. I'd like to first start off with a big warm welcome to my truth seekers, my independent researchers, and my independent thinkers. I said there's a hidden history that has been obfuscated from us. And the Bible is my foundation. I follow the biblical narrative with history and archaeological findings, as well as observational sciences, to support my analysis of the scriptures. It was written in Matthew 18, but if he will not hear thee, then take with thee 1 or 2 or more, then in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word may be established. So I'm utilizing all different types of witnesses, which is within history and archaeological findings. So when people hear of the Canaanites, they immediately envision a primitive African tribe with plates in their lips, standing around playing in the dirt. This is the images that I always see, an African with their head up a cow's butt. It's always these strange images, and they always want to say these are the Canaanites. But many people don't know of the many accomplishments and how much influence the Canaanites has had on history and the production and development of advanced civilizations. So why are the Canaanites important? When I was up there trying to talk with Hassad, he told me that he didn't want to debate me. He didn't want to debate me on the Canaanites. He didn't see the value in it or what was the big deal. Well, when they're going around talking about how the so-called white man is Esau, and they like to talk about Psalms 83 and the prophecy that Esau and Edom has against the children of Israel, well, there's a major group that's listed in here. How do you miss them? And this is the inhabitants of Tyre. Very important group. And who is Tyre? Glad you asked. The land of Tyre is the home of the Phoenician Canaanites. So yes, Psalms 83 is talking about the Canaanites. And how do we know that? Here's the Encyclopedia Britannica. Right here lets you know that it was a major Phoenician seaport. So this is where the Canaanites, this is where they were. This is their land. And who were the Phoenicians? Just in case you need to know, the Phoenicians were the late Canaanites. Here's another source that lets you know the Phoenicians were the inhabitants of Tyre, and the Phoenicians are the Canaanites. Also, here's a fun fact for those of you that did not know. There's going to be a lot of things you did not know today, but I'm sharing because sharing is caring. But Europa, those of you who know who Europa is, she's a Phoenician princess, right? This is a Phoenician princess. This is a Canaanite princess. She is where Europe received their name. Right here, it tells us, it says Europa is a figure from Greek mythology who later gave her name to the continent of Europe. So why would the Europeans take on the name of a Phoenician Canaanite? Out of all the different princesses, goddesses, queens, and kings, and they kept it. They still have it to this very day. And it tells you right here, Europa was a Phoenician, she was a Canaanite princess, and they've given her name to Europe, and they're calling themselves Europeans. They're telling you that is their mother. That's their mother. Right there is Europa, who is a Phoenician princess. So a lot of you are saying, well, I thought the Canaanites were cursed to be slaves. Naphtali, how can they be the ones in charge? Didn't the Most High curse them? You're right, he did. Genesis 9, it says, and he said, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants, shall he be unto his brethren. And he said, blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. So right here, we see where it says that Canaan's supposed to be the servant of Shem. But look at the blessings of Deuteronomy 28. Let's follow these blessings. So the Most High said, if you were to hearken diligently to my voice, follow the laws, his statutes, his commandments, which he has to this day, he said the Most High said he would set thee above all nations of the earth. So if you follow his laws, statutes, and commandments, you will be set above. It says he will make thee the head and not the tail. Thou shalt be above only. So if we are above the tail, because they were cursed to be servants.
Naphtali, your phone breaking up. You're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, do I sound better now?
Yeah, you sound better. So go back about a minute, about 50 seconds.
Okay. Did we get Europeans? Okay. Anyway, so you say you thought the Canaanites were cursed. Let's talk about that again. So the Canaanites were indeed cursed. The Most High cursed Canaan to be the servants of servants. Now, in the blessings, according to the blessings for the children of Israel, if they were to follow the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, then that means that they would be above only. So if they're above, that means that they are the head, and then at the tail will be the Canaanites, and the Canaanites will be our servants. Does that mean they're going to be slaves? No, but that means that they will be our servants, like butlers and things like that. And that means that they will never rule. However, the curses of Deuteronomy, that's what's important here. It says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee to this day.
You're breaking up again.
Okay. Okay, how about now? Right now, it's better.
It sounds good. It's been sounding like a robot. You know how that sound go?
Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
I gotta upgrade my equipment, guys. Bear with me. All right, so it says the stranger shall get above
Yeah,
these.
it's not clear. It's not clear. It's not clear.
Hold on a second. 1 second. Let me see.
Yeah, when you say that, it'd be nice and clear. But then when you start going, it starts, chopping up.
Okay. Okay. How about now?
Yes, it sounds clear now.
Okay. Hopefully we can keep it that way. All right. So guys, so remember, everybody's always talking about the curses of Deuteronomy 28. But right here, it tells you that you should be set above. It says the stranger that is within thee shall get up above you very high. Thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. So right here is letting you know that the head is now going to be the tail, and the tail is now going to be the head. And who is that? The tail are the Canaanites. So what happens is we do a quick switch. We do a switcheroo. The Canaanites who are at the bottom now becomes at the top, and then us so-called, the children of Israel, we're the ones that are going to be at the bottom. We're going to be their servants. That's what this is all about.
It's messing up. It's messing up. It's messing up.
Okay.
There you go. It sounds good when you say okay.
All right. So Ecclesiastes.
Are you on the phone?
No, I'm not on the phone.
Oh, okay.
I'm on my laptop. Okay. So
now, if you want, you can call in and do it, but you can still, on a laptop. You can still show your slides, but you could talk on the phone if you want to.
All right, that sounds good. I'll do that. Thank you, sa.neter.
All right, call this number. Call my number.
Okay, I'm about to
all right.
Mute myself.
Yep.
Oh.
All right, family, bear with us for a minute. We want to make sure we get this sound right. This is a very important topic here. And Naphtali gonna go in right now. All right, you hear me?
All right, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. I can hear you.
Oh, you got an echo like that. Oh man. You gotta probably yeah, you got an echo. That ain't gonna work either then. Say something.
All right, let's try it again. I
unmuted myself.
All right, she had jumped off for a minute. Oh man, we got to get this right. This is important here, y'all. Hey, Ryan, man. Ryan apologists. The Hebrews looking at you as a bully now. You running around here bullying these Israelites, bro. you over here bullying them now. And they running. I think I spoke to Captain Tazoriak about you. And he might be getting in the ring with you, Ryan. He had enough. He had enough of your abuse of the Israelites. And he told me he's thinking about a topic. So he might be coming for you, man. I spoke to him. I think this was yesterday or the day before yesterday. Okay, we waiting on her. She should be coming in. Naphtali, where you at?
I'm right here. I'm coming right back in.
Okay.
Hopefully this will work. If not, then my microphone isn't working, so I'll just have to try to use my laptop.
Mhm.
Okay, let's see.
Okay. You wanna try the mic again or get off this? Yeah, it's echoing on here. So let's get off the phone. Let's see if it works. Okay. Let's bring her back in. Let's hear you.
All right, how do I sound now?
It sounds good.
Okay, well, let's see how this goes. All right, let's try this again, guys. Let's present, share screen.
Your screen is up.
Okay. How far do you think I should go back? Let's see. Present. This is different. One second. One second. Let me try this again. There we go. There we are. All right.
All right, your screen is up.
Okay. So I want to make sure this part is heard, because this is the most important part. This is the part where people are probably going to have an issue with. So let me go ahead and share this screen. Okay. So a lot of people are saying, I thought the Canaanites were supposed to be cursed to be slaves. We know that from Genesis 9, where it says here that Canaan is to be a servant of servants shall he be to his brethren. So that means that he's not only going to be Shem's servant, he's also going to be Japheth's servant. And the biggest thing about this is the Canaanites are not supposed to ever rule. They're the ones who are supposed to be the servants of the rulers. Now, does that mean they're supposed to be enslaved? No, they're not supposed to be enslaved. They're just to be like a butler or somewhere, the maid, people like that. Now, remember, in order for all this to take place, the children of Israel have to go through Deuteronomy 28 and receive the blessing. And it says, and it shall come to pass that thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his I command thee this day.
It's messing up. It's messing up right now. It just started.
Okay, let me just slow down. Okay. I command, so it says here, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to do all his commandments. So to follow the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, he says that he will make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. That's if you follow the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. However, if you do not follow the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, you're underneath the curses of Deuteronomy 28. So it says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that these curses shall come upon you. So the stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. So what ended up happening is that we're having a switch places. We're doing a trading of places here. When the children of Israel do wrong and they do not follow the laws of the Most High, statutes, and commandments, they are under the curses of Deuteronomy. And what does that mean? That they're no longer the head. If they're no longer the head, then that means that they are the tail. Well, guess what? The tail is no longer the tail. The tail has now been the head. And that's what took place. The Canaanites are now the ones that are in charge, and they're the ones that are they're ruling. And they want us to continue to sin, because the only way they know that they can rule is by us not following the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. So what is the best strategy to make sure that doesn't happen is for you to not even know who you are, for you to not even know your lineage, for you to disown your God. A lot of people think they're monkeys. It's all kind of stuff that they're doing. But one thing that they know they're doing is making sure that you don't know that you are the children of Israel. But in Ecclesiastes 10:7, it says, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. So right here, this is actually letting us know that the servants are the ones that are up on the horses, and the ones that are walking as servants upon the earth are actually the princes, the ones that are supposed to be ruling. So now look at these scriptures, because a lot of people seem to ignore this. This is actual scriptures here. It's Joshua 17. It says, and the children of Joseph said, the hill is not enough for us, and all the Canaanites that dwell in the land of the valley have chariots of iron. So these Canaanites are not just out living in no jungle, no forest in the Congo. They actually were very sophisticated. They actually had chariots. And this is actually the Bible. This is actually the scriptures talking about their accounts of dealing with the Canaanites with these iron chariots. And they say, and Joshua spake unto the house of Joseph, even to Ephraim and to Manasseh, saying, thou art a great people and had great power. Thou shalt not have only one lot. It says, but the mountain shall be fine, for it is a wood, and thou shalt cut it down. And the outgoings of it shall be thine, for thou shalt drive out the Canaanites, though they have iron chariots, and though they be strong. So right here, the Bible's letting us know that these Canaanites are very strong and they're sophisticated. They have these iron chariots, and the children of Israel were terrified of them. Well, guess what? History also makes it follows this same follows the same truth here. These are the Hittites. The Hittites have iron chariots, and they have very sophisticated iron. They're the ones that brought in iron. They brought in the Iron Age, the Hittites. And I find it very interesting that we didn't learn this in school. Nobody really learned about the Hittites. When you hear about the Canaanites, you hear about the Hittites and all of them, you really don't think that they actually really existed when they did. And there's tons of history to support that. So right here, these are the actual iron chariots. Now we do see that with the Egyptians, but where did the Egyptians get them from? They actually got them from the Hittites. They got them from the Canaanites, yes. And these are the real iron chariots. So let's talk about the Hittites. Let's take a look at them. So the Hittites are widely accredited with being among the first civilizations to successfully produce and utilize iron. So right here, these Hittites are the ones to be the first civilization. And you would think that this would be something that would be taught to us in school. It says the Hittites were skilled metallurgists, or people who studied the properties and the compositions of metals. In iron mines near the Black Sea, they discovered the strength of iron and how to make it into weapons and armor. So not only did they have weaponry, they also had armor. And they learned they're the ones that they're the progenitors of iron. They're the progenitors of these weapons. And the Hittites are a member of an ancient Indo-European people. So right here, it doesn't say the Hittites are in Africa. Matter of fact, the Hittites are in Anatolia, which is modern day Turkey. And it also tells you that they are the ones who are Indo-European, meaning that they're European, and also they're the ones that established the Indo-European language family, which is the language that we speak today. It's a branch off of that language. So for instance, like the Hittite word for water is the English word. The word for water is the same word that the Hittites were using. So my question is all this just something that is, people are just making this stuff up? Is this just some form of scam? No, this is all true. This is all historically accurate and all historically proven. So here we go. Now, according to Ron, this is Ron. Now, we heard him. If you guys heard that clip, I hope it came off very clear. But if not, this is who Ron is telling you these Canaanites are. See, Ron says to know who the true Canaanites are is to know where the true holy land is. Ron Dalton teaches that the true land of Canaan is in South Africa. And he teaches that the African pygmies and the sand bushmen, Khoisan, are the true Canaanites. Question: does his thesis follow history as well as, of course, biblical scripture? But does it? I mean, we just saw in the book of Joshua that the Israelites were afraid. They were terrified of the Hittites or the Canaanites because they had chariots of iron. Does this look like any of the Hittites that had chariots of iron? I mean, yeah, do they look like that? These people here, these people aren't bothering anybody. For you to put this stigma on these people who are out here living their own lives, minding their own business, they are not the Canaanites. I'm sorry, they're not. The Canaanites had a major effect on the children of Israel, that the Most High feared that they would turn them from worshiping him. The Canaanites are a greater and mightier nation. The Most High feared these Canaanites' effect on us. They feared them. He feared their effect on us. Right here it says in Deuteronomy 7:1, it says, when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, Perizzites, the Hivites, Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. So right there, it doesn't even know that the Canaanites are 7 nations that are greater and mightier. I'm sorry, I don't think they were walking around. I don't think the Most High would take time to talk about them. I don't think so. It says the greater and mightier. It didn't say the shortest tribe. This is how tall these people are. This is what Ron is out here teaching. This is what Ron is telling everybody, that these little people here, these tiny people, and these aren't children, these are the grown folks. Okay, these are the grown folks. It says pygmies are very small, opposite of mighty, more like tiny. Remember, it says greater and mighty. No, it meant tiny. Maybe they have greater spirits. They're probably very great, nice people. But this is no, Ron, stop. Stop with your false teaching. This is the world's shortest tribe. See, the Canaanites had an influence on the Israelites. In Ezra 9, it says, now when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands, doing according to their abominations. It's talking about the Canaanites. Now, these are the people, again, that Ron wants us to believe the Canaanites are. Do you really think that the Most High, the children of Israel, are not able to get away from this? Do you really think that they are, wanting to sit outside in grass huts? Is that what it says now? The princes came to me, saying the children of Israel, the priests, have not separated themselves? I don't think anybody's going to have a hard time getting away from that. Okay. This is them right here again. This is the people that, again, Ron wants us to believe are the Canaanites. Look at this sophistication right here. This is a ziggurat. This was in what they would consider to be Iraq, which is Babylon, around that area. This is the stuff that they were building. Now, of course, we all know Saddam Hussein came back and he, rebuilt it. But the thing is, this is what they're finding these ziggurats all around the Mesopotamian area. And this is the sophistication of what they were building. I'm sorry, Ron. They weren't living in little grass huts. I do apologize. Grown people. But the Most High sold the children of Israel into the hands of the Canaanites. This has already taken place. Yes, the Most High actually gave the children of Israel into the hands of the Canaanites. How do we know that? Glad you asked. Judges 4. And the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord when Ehud was dead. And the Lord sold them into the hand of Jabin, king of Canaan. So right here lets you know that the Lord sold them into the hands of Jabin, the king of Canaan, that reigned in Hazar, the captain of whose host was Sisera, which dwelt in the Harosheth of Gentiles. It says, and the children of Israel cried unto the Lord, for he had 900 chariots of iron. And 20 years he mightily oppressed the children of Israel. So right here, it lets us know that the Most High, like he did now, he sold the children of Israel into the hands of who? The Canaanites. It didn't say Nimrod. It didn't say the Cushites. It didn't. It literally says the king of Canaan, which were the Canaanites, and he had 900 chariots of iron. Now, did we not see in history that the progenitors or the makers of iron were the Hittites? They were the Canaanites. This is not only supported biblically, but this is also supported, like I said, historically and archaeologically. We can prove that. Okay, let's keep going. This is an actual relief. This is real. This is authentic. This is the Hittite archer on a chariot. This is them. They're showcasing their history. It's all around their walls and their temples. This right here goes right along. What this does is it proves the scriptures. It proves the Bible right here. Then there's the Battle of Kadesh. My history buffs out there, shout out to you. You guys already know where I'm headed. The Battle of Kadesh. That was a war between Egypt and who? The Hittite Canaanites. It was a huge war. It was a huge battle. They said the Battle of Kadesh was a major battle between the Egyptians under Ramses II and the Hittites under Mu'talis in Syria, southwest of Hims. It says in one of the world's largest, let me repeat that again, one of the world's largest chariot battles, fought besides the Orontes River, Pharaoh Ramses II sought to west Syria from the Hittites and recapture the Hittite-held city of Kadesh. There was a day of carnage and some 5,000 chariots charged into the fray. It says the battle led to the world's first recorded what? Peace treaty. The world's first, the first historical peace treaty was done by who? The Hittites and the Egyptians. And they had one of the world's largest iron chariot races. Look at me saying races. Battles. They all had this huge battle and over 5,000 chariots. And all of this goes through what the Bible says. The children of Israel were afraid of the Hittites, were afraid of the Canaanites because they had all these iron chariots. Like I said, the history goes right along with the scriptures. See, the Battle of Kadesh was the first peace treaty. So not only did the Hittites, this is historically accurate proof that Ramses II had a battle with the Hittites. So here in Genesis 36:2, it says, Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite. So here it says, Genesis 36:20, these are the sons of Seir the Horite, who inhabited the land, Lotan and Shobal, Zibeon, and Anah. So if Esau is the first and only white person, how was he able to remain white, marrying Canaanite women who you say and teach are black? Esau married these Canaanites and made a confederacy with them. Now, when I talk about the Canaanites being white, everybody starts to scratch their heads and go like, well, how is Canaanite? How is they white when, they're all black? His siblings are black. Their mind starts to work. But when you ask them about the Edomites, remember, Esau is the first and only white man to ever exist, according to their doctrine. The first and only white man. So how was he able to continue to create white people? He had nobody else white to be with. Shouldn't he have blacked himself out, if that's a correct term to say? But when it comes to Esau, that's okay. But when it comes to the Canaanites, they can't just, I guess nobody white wants to be with them. I mean, when you hear the doctrine, it just doesn't make any sense. And this is what they teach all the time. But then when you say something to them, it's like their brain starts to compute like, well, hold on. Mind you, Shem, he has children of all, the Ishmaelites. They're Arabs. Then you got these Asians who are, the Moabites. Then you have the Edomites who are white. And then you have the children of the Israelites who are black, Native American, Hispanics, all different. I mean, I tell you, it's a rainbow. you know what I'm saying, the Israelites are a rainbow, but when it comes to him, all black. And then how dare you say he's anything else? But mind you, the one person, Shem, is not supposed to mix with anybody. He's a rainbow. But I'm just gonna let that sit right there. I'm sorry, guys. These are not the daughters of Canaan. I'm sorry. I don't think the Most High had to worry about you wanting to marry them. I don't think he had to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? This is the people who you know what I'm saying? They're out here teaching. They're out here telling everybody these are the Canaanites. Remember, you know, he has to pay a dowry for. They have to go, you know what I'm saying? This is Esau. You mean to tell me Esau, this is what he chose? Out of all the women, Esau said, no, 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 no. I want this. I want these women with these plates in their lips. No, no, no. Not these other folks who got these, you know, very prestigious, you know, chariots and these palaces and these ziggurats and all this sophistication. No, 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 no. They can't be it. These people here are it. This is what they're teaching. What's going on here? It says, Deuteronomy 28:28, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. That's what's going on here. This isn't the same thing. The Canaanites are not doing this. This is not the thing of the Canaanites. Again, let's go back to Psalms 83. It says here, this was a confederacy against the children of Israel. Against who? The tabernacles of Edom. And who's there? Tyre. Tyre is who? The Phoenician Canaanites. Now, I did see, and I'm not going to act like you didn't do it. I did see Deacon that he did bring this out, but his problem was who he said was the Canaanites. Deacon understands. See, the problem is, I'm sorry, priest, excuse me, priest. I didn't mean to call you priest. I didn't mean to call you deacon. But the thing that I'm having an issue with Ron is Ron keeps wanting us to believe that the children of Israel couldn't resist these women right here. That's not, no. But what it is that we see that the Edomites, they mixed and they did a confederacy with Tyre, which is the Canaanites. Now, so let's talk about what Ron also got wrong. Ron also talks about the Horites. And he wants to say that the Horites were these cavemen and all this and all that, which is true. But the Horites were Canaanites too. He's teaching that the Canaanites were not Horites. When we look at the Eastern Bible Dictionary, the Eastern Bible Dictionary, Horites were cavemen, a race of troglodytes who dwell in the limestone caves which abounded in Edom. Their ancestors were Seir, who probably gave his name to the district where he lived. They were a branch of Hivites. So right here lets us know that the Horites were Hivites, which were Canaanites. Now Ron wants to come up here and he wants to teach you like this was a whole nother group of people like these. No, these people were the Canaanites. We see that from Genesis 36:2. It tells you that he married the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite. And then we see Seir the Horite, and his son was Zibeon. So Seir the Horite had a son named Zibeon, and guess what? They were Hivites. And the word Horite, again, just means caveman. It's just a nickname. So Seir the Horite just means Seir the caveman. And Ron is out here again teaching that incorrectly. So Seir the Horites, again, Horites were an original inhabitants of the land of Edom. So everybody knows that before Edom or Esau came in, they were already living here. So you mean tell me Esau had anywhere he could have gone, but he wanted to break his mom's and dad's hearts by going into living in some grass hut? No. If you look at the sophistication of this, when you hear of cave, you're thinking of, like these little, cavemen. No, they actually were building very sophisticated architectural designs here. And let's take a look a little closer. So look at this, guys. This is amazing. I hope to go to Turkey one day so I can actually visit this in person. So right here you see this is the Hivites or Hittite troglodytes. They were very advanced, technologically advanced subterranean people that lived underground, highly decorative tunnels. The Canaanites were excellent builders, and they lived underground in tunnels. Not your ordinary tunnels, not what you would ordinarily think. Look at these details. These are the actual caves. You see that? This is where they live. This is an actual city of the Hittites. This is real. This is authentic. And this is an underground city. As you see here, this is the view from underground. If you look here, you see how these are connecting. You know what I'm saying? Each level. And this is the fact that they were even able to even do this. You know what I'm saying? They had the what you would call how would they get the lighting down there to see? You know, just to even be able to carve. How do you even walk? I mean, see down there. All they're saying they had was these torches. You know what I'm saying? These little fire torches and their little hammer and nail. And I guess they were just chiseling on the side of the wall. And they just, I mean, come on. When you hear the way that these people are teaching this stuff, they really don't want you to know the truth. But we're a little bit smarter than that. They can't hit us with the okie doke. But this is actually the most famous subterranean city in Turkey. It's called the Dirikenyu. It's a multi-level underground city in Cappadocia, believed to house up to 20,000 people. So this is the whole city. This is where the Canaanites or the Hittites dwelt. Okay, you guys can actually go visit this. And they were called the Hittite troglodytes or the Horites, which means caveman. But they're not your average caveman, not what you would think. And here we have Petra. This is where the Hittites, this is where Esau and all of them came in. Now look at this. This is chiseled out. This is carved out. Okay, and this is actually what was carved into the walls or the caves of what they were saying for the Hittites. And they're all out here. They come out here every year. And this is actually a temple, and this is a temple to the god Baal. But let's just keep going. So there's the Hittite Empire. So you know they had the Battle of Kadesh. Remember, they had their own states. And so this is a little bit more information. So if you guys want to come back, sit down and just read this, that's fine. I'm going to keep moving, though. Let's keep going. All right. So also Hitler. How about Hitler? Do you guys know who Hitler is out there? His name is not Hitler. His name is Adolf Schicklgruber. That's his name. Schicklgruber. Hitler's name was not Hitler. What does Hitler mean? Hitler means Hittite. Yes, Hitler means Hittite. And Hitler knows about this. He was trying to get back to his past, and he wanted to go back. The Hittites are said to have had blonde hair. Here we see here, this is a king, Supiluma. He is actually a king of the Hittites. And his name means he of the golden hair. So he had this blonde hair, and if you guys can't see it, I know, but he has blue eyes as well. So he has that blonde hair and that blue eyes. So it says here, the Hittite king is known for his golden hair and military prowess. So I thought he was out here in the, in the caves and ooga booga and all that kind of stuff. No. Look at this sophistication and how they carved him, And also it says the name Adolf Hitler was inspired by admiration and mortal dread. It says when Hitler became a Führer, the leader of Germany, the short, powerful word Hitler not only identified the man who carried it, but the word turned into a symbol of strength and loyalty. So it says instead of during his dictatorship, people said Heil Hitler. It became more than a pagan-like chant. At the rallies, they were answering the telephone with Heil Hitler, and what they were saying was Heil Hittite. That's what they were saying was Heil Hittite. And yes, the Hittites did use the swastika. So those of you that were wondering, this is where they got the swastika from. Let me show you. Here is an actual source right here. Let me zoom in for you. This is an actual relief on the walls of the Hittites. And if you look here on this garment that he has the swastika all over it. So they were utilizing this swastika. And what happened is Hitler, he took it. He went on and he started to use it. Now what they say is that he used it. He took something that was very sweet and then he used it in an evil way But the thing is, he got it from his ancestors, which were the Hittites, right? Okay, so they said the swastika has been discovered on artifacts from Anatolia, including those from the Iron Age, which have a runic inscription. So the Anatolia is where? Is Turkey. So this is where the Hittites were. It says the Celts, Romans, and Germans then picked up the symbol to brown. The Hittites were another possible vehicle for the swastika. They spread the swastika as they conquered nearby cultures. So they were spreading the swastika. And remember, the Hittites are before the Germans, before the Romans, and before the Celts. They all are pioneering or, pirating, or I would just maybe channeling from their ancestor, the Hittite. They also have a Hittite university, guys. Yep, they built this Hittite university in 2006. So they're very proud of their culture, of their heritage. The thing is that are people going to allow them to have it? Instead of saying, well, Naphtali, duh, they just want to be a part of that land. Well, let's talk about what Christianity taught us, right? Let's just get into that really quick. Japheth, Ham, and Shem. A lot of people get up here and they tell me that the Japheth, now this is okay. Everybody gets up here and says that Noah can have children of all different races, but not Ham. How dare she say the Canaanites are white? How dare she say that? Isn't that, it's like the most far-fetched thing anybody can hear. But Japheth can be an all-white man. Noah can have an all-white man of Japheth. He can have an all-black man of Ham. And then Shem can be this, I guess, mixed or whatever, mulatto, group of people. But nobody's arguing with that. Nobody finds that to be far-fetched, right? So here we go. Japheth was Europe, Asia. Ham is Southwest Asia and Africa. Middle East is the Shemites. Okay, so why was Ham really cursed? Let's talk about this. I don't really hear people talk about why Ham was really cursed. I hear a lot of people talk about, well, he saw his father naked. That doesn't, we've walked in on our parents before, what I'm saying? That I'm sure that's not what it was. What it was is that he took his father's drunkenness for granted, which we all know that. But how? Let's talk about it. So here in Genesis 3:21, KJV, it says, unto Adam and to his wife did the Lord God make coats of skin and clothe them. So the Most High made clothing for Adam and Eve. He made clothing for them. And when they got kicked out of thrown head first out of the garden, the Most High gave them some clothes. Now, these clothes are from the Most High. These aren't no regular clothes. These are some very sophisticated clothing. So when we look in the book of Jasher, those of you that are turning your noses up at Jasher, I better not catch you reading anything else. And the only people that tell you that there's a problem with the book of Jasher are the extra biblical texts, or these so-called Christians, right? So anyway, it says, and Cush, the son of Ham, the son of Noah, took a wife in those days of old age. It says, and the garments of skin which God made, or the Most High made for Adam and his wife, when they went out of the garden, were given to Cush. Hold on. Why are these? Now we know that these garments are supposed to go to Shem, but for some reason they were given to Cush. And why is that? It says, for after the death of Adam and his wife, the garments were given to Enoch, the son of Jared. And when Enoch was taken up to God, he gave them to Methuselah, his son. And at the death of Methuselah, Noah took them and brought them to the ark. And they were with him until he went out of the ark. And they're going out. Ham stole those garments from Noah, his father. So Ham stole the garments. He didn't. Those right here, we see in the book of Genesis that it tells you that the Most High made these garments and gave them to Adam and Eve. And we know that these garments were being passed down. And we see these garments were passed down to Noah, and Noah was going to pass them down to his son Shem. What did Ham do? Ham came in and he came in and swooped those mugs up, right? And what did he do? It says here, Ham stole the garments from Noah and his father and took them and hid them from his brothers. And when Ham begat his firstborn Cush, he gave him the garments in secret, and they were with Cush many days. And it says, and Cush also concealed them from his sons and brothers. And when Cush had begotten Nimrod, he gave him those garments through his love for him. And Nimrod grew up when he was 20 years old, and then he put those garments on. And Nimrod became strong when he put those garments on. And the Most High gave him might and strength, and he was a mighty hunter in the earth. And yeah, he was a mighty hunter in the field, and he hunted the animals, and he built altars, and he offered upon the animals before the Lord. And the Lord delivered all the enemies and his brethren, and God prospered from him from time to time in his battles, and he reigned upon the earth. All right, so right here we see that these garments were actually passed down to Nimrod, and the Most High had given him strength through those garments. So Ham, what did Ham do? Ham stole those garments. He said, hey, these garments is going to my son. I don't know about your son, but these is going to my son. So what did Noah do? He cursed his other son. He said, okay, well, Canaan's going to be a servant of servants. So one of his sons got cursed. So is it worth it? Was it worth it that one of his sons got cursed, but I guess the other son became a mighty hunter and became very powerful? And I mean, I don't know, to get the clothes that was made by the Most High. I mean, hey, I guess I would take that chance too, to have those clothes. But no, I'm just talking. But the thing is, right here, we see that those garments was given to Cush, and Cush gave them to Nimrod. And before that, they were Ham had taken them. He stole them. So that's what it was. He said, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. And that's Genesis 9:25. So also the Most High tested the Israelites' loyalty by using the Canaanites. So not only did the Canaanites have the children of Israel enslaved, but the Most High used these Canaanites as bait to see if, hey, if you guys were to be around them, how would you respond? And here we go. So this is Judges 3:1-7. It says, now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them. Even of many of the Israels has not known all the wars of Canaan. It says, only that the generations of the children of Israel might know, to teach them war, and to least such as before knew nothing thereof. It says, namely, 5 lords of the Philistines, and all the Canaanites, and the Sidonians, and the Hittites that dwelt in Mount Lebanon, from Baal Hermon until the entering of Hamath. And they were to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandments of the Lord, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. And the children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites. So they dwelt among the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. And they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and served their gods. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and forgot the Lord, forgot the Most High. Hold on. This is in the book of Judges. This isn't in no doggone Jasher, no Jubilees. This is in the King James. This is in Judges. Now, what did it say here? It told us that the Most High left. He left them. He wanted to see, okay, you guys are doing good, but wait till I bring them around. How are you going to act when they come around? Now, they want us to believe that we're going to forget our God, the Most High. We're gonna interact with these Canaanites by being outside in huts with them, out in the fields, out there, living out there in the Congo and the jungle. That's what we did. That's really, we forgot the Most High and worshipped whose gods? A lot of those people out there in those jungles and they are actually monotheistic. They don't even have all these deities. Okay, but anyway with that. Who is getting ready to lose the Most High? I mean, you shouldn't be wanting to lose the Most High anyway. But these Canaanites, or these Phoenicians, as they were called, they had these big, massive ships. They had these beautiful garments, this silk. They had the purple, saying that was a status of royalty. were up there with them. You know, they had iron, they had gold, they had brass, they had all of those things. And the Most High, he used them as bait. He asked us, he went and he said, hey, okay, well, let's see how you guys will act now. And they failed. Sure enough, they started to intermarry with them. And that kind of sound, doesn't that sound like today? We don't know who our God is. So our ancestors forgot him. And what are we doing? We're intermarrying with him. Are we having a hard time with these people in the Congo? No. We don't know. We don't know. We don't care. No, we don't. Let's just be honest. That's not our problem. So here we look at their deities. Look at their gods. Right now it's Ishtar. Ishtar is the one in the middle. We just celebrated her, didn't we? Easter. Easter is actually for the goddess Ishtar. And who is Ishtar is the goddess of the Canaanites. Right here, this is Baal. He's the god of the Canaanites. And then we have Teshub, who is another god of the Canaanites. So right here, we just got done with a celebration of Easter or Ishtar. Okay. Now, priest Haka wants us to believe that they're the Nigerians. A lot of people out there believe they're the Nigerians. I don't think we was worried about them either. I don't think we was worried. I don't think the Most High had to worry about us with them. But this is the Dahomey. This is us. This is our peoples. We know we existed within the Nigeria. It's sad that they did sell us into captivity. They did do that. But this is the Dahomey, and we know that they are there in Africa and that they are the children of Israel. So let's take a look at this, and we're going to be closing up soon. But guys, listen, I'm getting ready to bring it home. Genesis 15:13 through 16. It says, and he said unto Abram, know of surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Don't they bring this scripture out all the time? They always talk about this 400 years, and they want to say that this applies to us. And it says, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the who? The Amorites is not yet fulfilled, not yet full. Why does it say Amorites here? Why are the Amorites listed here? Shouldn't it? I mean, the Amorites are these primitive people. They're these people all the way in the jungle. Why are we concerned about the Amorites? Because the Amorites are actually right here, the ones that are inflicting this iniquity. They're the ones that are putting the pain upon us, on the children of Israel. This 400 years is coming from the Amorites. So who is an Amorite? So here we have Hammurabi. He is a very known Amorite. Right here it tells you that Hammurabi was the 6th king of the Amorite, first dynasty of what? Babylon. So the dynasty of Babylon was actually ran and developed by the Amorite Canaanites. It says it right here. This is according to the World History Encyclopedia. You can find it in all types of encyclopedias, but it says it right here. It lets us know that the Amorites were the Babylonians, and the Amorites are the ones that established it. Now, some of you are going to say, no, that was Nimrod. Well, eventually Cush did come in. Yes, Cush did eventually come in and rule on the throne. I mean, we know that Shem, the Assyrians, came in. Everybody has their moment in time where they came in and overtaken Babylon. But the ones who actually established Babylon were the Amorite Canaanites. Excuse me. Now, when you look here to your right, this is a Hammurabi relief portrait. Now, everybody who knows who Hammurabi is, he's known for the Code of Hammurabi. And his code is actually what established the code that we have today, the law. A lot of the laws that we have today in the United States are attributed to the Code of Hammurabi. Now, is it an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth kind of thing? No. But, they taken the laws, and what they did was they took away the consequences as much, but you see, they definitely influenced it. And where is this relief at? This relief is actually on the walls of the House of Chambers in the state capitol. In the U.S. Capitol building, Hammurabi's picture is hanging up for all to see. So Hammurabi's marble-based relief, one of 23 reliefs of the great historical lawgivers. So he is considered to be one of the great historical lawgivers. And what does that mean? He's a Canaanite, he's an Amorite. We see that he is an Amorite. What does that mean? This means that the Canaanites, these Amorites, were very sophisticated, and they're actually being rewarded all throughout history. The Hittites, here we have the Amorites. When we look here, this is called Baalbek. This is actually a city named after Baal. Is it found in Africa? No, it's not. The Canaanites are known for their gods, their loyalty. They praise their gods. They worship their gods. When you look at this temple here, this is a temple, and it's called Baalbek, and this is located in Lebanon. And if you guys were to take some time, and I hope you guys do, look into Baalbek and the celebrations that are held in there. They are doing huge celebrations in this thing for their god Baal. They're not ashamed. They're not ashamed or anything. They are still worshiping their God. Now, are they probably doing the sacrificing and all that? No, but they're still in there doing their praise and worship. It says here in 2 Kings 10:27, and they break down the image of Baal and break down the house of Baal and made it a draught house unto this day. Right there, this was actually a temple of Baal. And what is the image of Baal? So in the King James, they call it an image of Baal. But when you look at the New King James, it's called a sacred pillar. So this pillar thing that you see here is actually the pillar of Baal. Now, when you guys look at the pillar represents the male phallus, right? And then we have the Ishtar, which is the gateway. So all these pillars here are all representing Baal. Okay, Baal is the father. He is the one that is the father. And all of them, like I said, it's all around. Is this a coincidence? I'm just saying, is this a coincidence? This is the United States Department of Agriculture. Look at me, about to be country. This is the United States Department of Agriculture. This is the headquarters right there. And this is what they have at Baalbek. Now, a lot of you guys will say, well, no, that goes back to the Romans. What's wrong with her? Well, I'm sorry, the Canaanites are older than the Romans. This was here before. Now, did they come in and they redecorated it, remodeled it, refurbished it? Yes, they did. But when you look at this one here, look at this one. This is the actual one. It's still the same look. Still the same look. My thing is, if you want to make sure that you're more authentic, why would you, out of all the things that you can, channel your building after or whatever, why would you choose the pillar of Baal? And it sounds funny because it's like the pillar of Baal. But that's what it's called, the pillar of Baal. Now they said that it says 2 Kings 10:26, the pillar of Baal refers to a sacred pillar or object used in worship of the Canaanite god Baal. These pillars were often erected as a part of Baal worship, and their destruction was a symbol of rejecting Baal and his associated practices. So right here, we see the United States are actually utilizing the actual, I'm a loss for words, because like I said, they're so bold with this. And for all of it to just keep going over our heads. And the sad thing about it is people are still not going to want to accept the information, no matter how much I bring out. Now, when you look here, we see Babylon, we see New York, London, the Vatican, and Washington, D.C. with these obelisks. Right here, this is Babylon. Why are they taking, again, look, right here, this is from Baalbek, this is from Babylon. Then when you go here, we see Babylon here, New York, London, the Vatican, and the Washington, D.C. This all goes back to Babylon. So here's some fun facts, right? So here we have this Canaanite goddess. She got these, what they say are cannabis plants. So when you mix the word Canaanite and their god Baal, you get cannibal. You get cannibalism. So they're saying the word cannibalism comes from what? Canaanite Baal. It says the Canaanites love dogs. So the word canine comes from the Canaanites. It says in the marijuana plant, aka cannabis, actually comes from the Canaanites. They used to burn this plant within the temples to send praise to their gods. It is documented that the children of Israel were burning what they called incense to other gods. And this is what they were burning? Was they getting lit, y'all? And of course, the cannonball is named after the Canaanites. So that cannonball, Canaanite ball, all of that goes back to the Canaanites. It goes back to Canaanites. So what happened to the Canaanites? What happened to them? Okay, all this history, thousands of years ago, Neff. This is 1,000 years ago. What happened today? Let's talk about it. Glad you asked. So let's get ready. It says, what happened to the Canaanites? It says researchers conducted DNA sequencing of the ancient Canaanite skeletons and have determined where the Canaanite descendants can be found today. It says the Canaanites were a Semitic-speaking cultural group that lived in Canaan, comprising Lebanon and Transjordan, beginning in the 2nd millennium. It says in the Hebrew Bible, the Canaanites are described as inhabitants of Canaan before the arrival of the Israelites. It says little of the Canaanites' textual records remain because they used papyrus instead of the clay. But much of the Canaanites' history is reconstructed through the writings of contemporary peoples in addition to the archaeological examinations. So it says here, according to the American Journal of Human Genetics, the researchers sequenced the genome of 5 individuals who were buried in the Canaanite city of Sidon in Lebanon, as well as the genomes of 99 individuals from Lebanon today. It says the results of their study demonstrated a connection. We show that the present-day Lebanese derive most of their ancestry from a Canaanite-related population. So from this genetic sequence, American Journal of Human Genetics says that the DNA of the Canaanites lives on in these Lebanese. Here we have the National Geographic. It tells us more than 90% of the genetic ancestry of modern Lebanese is derived from ancient Canaanites. It says it right there. No need to decipher. It tells you more than 90% of the Lebanese DNA is derived from the ancient Canaanites. And it's the same thing with the so-called Jews. Right here it tells us from the University of Cambridge. It says researchers analyzed DNA extracted from 4,000-year-old human remains to reveal that more than 90% of Lebanese ancestry is from the ancient Canaanites. And it also goes to these so-called Jews out there. Their DNA they say it's over 50% of their DNA links to the Canaanites as well. And they're not too happy about that because they don't want they all are trying to try to figure out who deserves the land, right? So they're all bickering. You guys are saying, well, I know you guys are out there saying they're doing that because they want the land. No, because both of them are coming back with the same DNA. So it's really what they're doing is they're opening their eyes to the fact that they're actually the Canaanites. And that's why. And a lot of them aren't too happy about that. So let's do a run through a review. So the Hittites are a member of the Indo-European people that reside in Anatolia, which is Turkey. There are Indo-European people who developed the Indo-European language, and a branch of that language is what we currently speak today. So when we talk about water, we're saying the same exact word that the Hittites said. Can you believe it? The same word the Hittites were saying is the same word we're using today. So the Canaanites of Africa. So everybody talks about, well, I know the Canaanites, they were in Africa. I know that. I know that the ships, they established a civilization there. I know that. And you're right. And the Canaanites of Africa are the Berbers. The Berbers. That's them. They analyze their DNA there, and it's not just about DNA. It's also about the way they write. It's about their gods. It's about the way they worship, the way they hold themselves, the way they carry themselves. It's like saying that you're an Egyptian, correct? So right here lets us know that the Canaanites of Africa are the Berbers. So here we have Mahmoud Abbas, we have Yasser Arafat, and Fasil Husseini. They will tell you that they're Jebusites. They tell you that they are Jebusites. They are the lineage of the Jebusites. They tell you that. And a lot of people want to sit up here and say that's because they want that land. But all this information that I have presented, I think is a little bit more than just wanting the land, guys. This is their actual lineage. This is their actual background. Now let's talk about the Black Jews of Africa. The true Jews, the true children of Israel reside in Africa. We talk about Shem's allotment. So we look in the book of Jubilees, and you go into chapter 8. It tells you that Noah had given Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth an allotment of land. And here it says the portion, let me zoom in on that for you guys can see. It says, and there came forth on the writings of Shem's lot is the middle of the earth. So right there lets us know that Shem's lot was the middle of the earth. And when we look at the middle of the earth, what do we see here? We see Africa is in the middle. And mind you, Africa is way bigger than that. As you know, they're not even showing Africa in its true size, correct? They say that the United States, South America, all these different continents can actually fit inside of Africa, if we really want to be honest. But Africa's in the middle of the earth, and that's where Shem's lot was. But what ended up happening, and this includes all of that was at one time connected. The Mesopotamia or the so-called Middle East, they took it away from Africa. That's why it's called the Middle East, because they know where it belongs. It belongs to Africa, all the way up until you get to about India. It's where all of this connects, and it all belongs to Shem. Now, this middle area is the land that belongs to the children of Israel. But remember, Shem has to have land. There's the children of Shem, and that's all through here. So Africa is the land of Shem. Right here, this is a book on that. And this is my last bit here. People want to talk about how, and this is something that I challenge people on right now. They always want to say that the Canaanites are black. Everybody wants to say, no, the Canaanites are black. Well, when you look at these people here, right? Everybody around the world are heavily melanated. Okay, not everybody has this so-called white skin, this so-called fair skin, whatever they want to call it. Not everybody has that. And then these people want us to believe that we are the darker skinned people. They want us to believe that we are the dark skinned people, that we are the black skinned people. But when you look at these people here all around the world, and as you see, he's getting his inky on right here. But the thing is, they are more melanated than us. A lot of us are not even as melanated. A lot of us are not even as dark. So nobody really thinks of them when they say Canaanites. The first thing everybody thinks of is a Negro, somebody of the Negro phenotype. Nobody thinks of this phenotype. Everybody automatically assumes a Negro when these people here do exist. And they actually do follow more of the so-called Canaanites than what us so-called Negroes or us so-called sub-Saharan Africans possess. If you look here, he's dressed and he's wearing his beard just like the Canaanite god Enki. Just like him. Him too with the mustache, and then you have her over here. But I like to say this, too much information to be considered a myth. Not only did I match the history of the Canaanites with the Bible, but not only that, there's so much more information. I was just getting started. Is there a cover-up taking place? I presented all this information. I reach out to people. I want to share this with them because not only what this does is, it not only proves the Bible, but it also provides history and things that we didn't even know existed. But I'd like to thank you all so much for tuning in, and may the Most High bless.
All right. I want to say you did your thing. You brought your sources. You brought your information. Now, you know, people going to probably see this and give me a call. Like Lord Abba is out there. He was in that chat hanging out. He might want to take you on this. Would you debate Lord Abba on this topic? Naphtali?
Oh, who is that now? Who is that?
Lord Abba, he's a Moor.
Oh, he wants to debate me on that. Oh, well, tell him to come on. Yeah, we can definitely have a conversation on it. And guys, that was just a joke about the fair skin. I know that means beautiful. That does not mean pale or light. That's just what I hear a lot of people, saying fair skin means light, but it's beautiful. But yeah, the guy, if anybody wants, I know you got to be out.
No, hold on, Naphtali. Now you know that's racist when they say fair skin is beautiful. That's just racist because the opposite of beautiful is what? Ugly, right? And so they would tell you that the dark skin is ugly, but if you closer to Europeans, you all right. You all right. You're beautiful. That's why they give you the term of good hair and bad hair, and they want you to believe that good hair is the straight, long, kinky hair. But the bad hair is that good hair. See, they flipped it on us. So that's the real good hair is the kinky hair, you know?
That's what it's all about. They've been flipping it they were saying that the ape DNA, they said that they was trying to say that we're the ones for the apes, but the DNA actually goes back to them. It's a lot of things that they want to say about us, so-called Black people, that actually we're finding out is them. And the same thing is going with this Canaanite thing. For the longest of times, we all thought that we were the Canaanites. But when you look at the history, when we review it, it all goes back to them. And this Abba person, what more do you need for me to showcase to you that these are these people? Because I've went through, all the way from the Hittites, all the way to the Amorites, all the way until today.
Yeah, you definitely broke it down and you showed it. Let me ask you a question. Please. Now, do you serve the God of the King James Bible?
I do follow the King James. Yes, I do. If that's what you're asking.
Is your God a racist, a bigot?
Well, he definitely chooses who he,
Be careful, Naphtali. Choose your words carefully now. So is your God a racist, a bigot, a hater of children, of babies, and hate darker children, like African children, like Chinese children? Is your God one of them gods, Naphtali, or no?
No, not at all.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Not at all. When you hear about the word racist, see, a lot of people don't know that racist is not the same as prejudice. It's not the same as bigotry. There's different.
So you believe salvation is for all people, all God's creation.
What's a kingdom without a people? Everybody would be in the kingdom as long as you're following the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. Who am I to tell anybody? He's the one that has the final say.
There you go. And here's Lord Abba right here. Lord Abba just popped up in the room. Lord Abba, what up, man?
Peace.
Naphtali, you don't know this brother, Lord Abba? Cam up so she can see you, Lord Abba.
Hold on.
Bring
This
out
brother been causing havoc all in the community for a long time. Naphtali?
You said what?
This brother here been causing havoc in the community for a long time with the information.
Okay, well, let's see. Go
He's
ahead.
been battling Unc for years.
Share if you care.
He supposed to be taking on him and Apostle supposed to be having a conversation, I think, on the Canaanites or something.
Hey, most I bless, Elder Apostle.
Hey, bless, sister. I enjoyed it.
Thank you
Once
so much.
again, you knocked it out the park. I agree.
Right, here's Lord Abba right here. You don't know Lord Abba, Naphtali?
It's cool. It's cool. She don't even know. It's cool. But what I want to say is I was watching the presentation, right? And I think the problem, because coming out of the Moorish Science Temple of America, we viewed the land of Canaan differently than most other people, based on the teachings of Noble Drew Ali, who put Arabia as a part of the ancient land of Canaan. And it coincided historically with those that stated that historic Canaan, not biblical Canaan, but historic Canaan was a cosmopolitan makeup of multiple different quote unquote ethnic groups, right? So I want to, if you don't mind, sis, I want to read two sources for you.
Yeah, go ahead and
Okay.
share your screen or whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not on my computer. I should have just jumped on my computer because I am in the crib. But I'm a, yeah, I'll just read it for now. And if we have a further, because I was supposed to have a discussion with Apostle this past Sunday, but I ain't gonna get into that right now. So let me read this right now. It says, this is coming from the book West African Studies by Mary Henrietta Kingsley, Charles Napoleon Carty, and it was published in 1899. Now, let me just say what Ron Dalton and numbers about is just cap. I actually called him out to a debate on Twitter, and he just ducked me severely. Like, then tried to disparage me after the fact. I don't, I call that coward scholarship. So the fact that you're willing to have the discussion with me, kudos. That means you got more heart than that dude. So I want to read this. It says, according to Clapperton, the Benin people are descendants of the Yoruba tribes. The Yoruba tribes being descended from 6 brothers, all sons of one mother. Their names were Ikilu, Egba, Ejibu, Ife, and Inni, which is Benin today, in Yoruba. According to the late Sultan Bello, the Fula chief of Sokoto at the time of Clapperton's visit to that city, the Yoruba tribes are descended from the children of Canaan who were of the tribe of Nimrod. Now, this is, obviously his breakdown of it, but it places these Canaanites in Africa. Now, I want to read this next source. This is from a paper that Wesley Muhammad wrote back in 2013 called Ife and Islam as Sibling Rivals, the Black Arabian Origins of the Yoruba. And he put in his paper, according to this Baya, and I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, Baya Jida tradition, the Yoruba and the Hausa share a paternal grandfather. This is consistent with the claim made in Yoruban and Borgawan tradition. That grandfather is none other than Namudu/Lamaruru, who is shared not only by the Yoruba and the Borgu traditions, but by the Hausa as well. During the annual Gani Festival at Dora, which, according to Derek Lange, is a royal reenactment of the Bayajada legend, the king is followed in procession by drummers who drum special beats signifying the words Lamarudu, son of Canaan. I have many, many more. And I think when we're confining Canaan to the region that the Bible wants to put Canaan, that's where the research and the scholarship becomes short-sighted, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. So listening to what you're saying, Nimrod wasn't Canaanite. So that whole thing there was just, you can just throw that out. And then with this other source, you're going to have to showcase how do they link to the Canaanites historically, as far as the ancient Canaanites, their language, their gods, their way of worship. The Canaanites were known for their worship. They were known for their sophisticated culture. The children of Israel wanted to be with them. Remember, the children of Israel wanted to be with them. We took our God and we threw him away for these people. So the Benin and the Togo and all of them, I'm sorry, but they just don't live up to the expectations, live up to the standards, live up to the qualifications of these so-called Canaanites. Now, when you put them in Africa, you say they're in Africa, but you have to understand there's Arabs in Africa. They're all in the northern portion, and that's where the Hamites reside. They reside up in the northern portion of Africa, and they have inhabited our land, and they have taken over. The Canaanites are the ones that are ruling right now. They're the ones that have an alliance with the Edomites. The Edomites intermarried within them. The Edomites came in and they married within the Canaanites. They took their daughters. Remember, he begged Esau. He said, please do not take a child. Don't take a daughter of the Canaanites. And what did he do? He went to the land of the Canaanites, because the Canaanites area was not just no grass huts. It was very sophisticated.
So I think, like I said, with those that use the Bible as their worldview, they tend to shut out the what's known as extra biblical sources. I don't call them that. I just simply call them historical facts. And this is one of the things I'm going to show whenever me and Apostle ever have our discussion, that what you guys are presenting from the biblical narrative is not necessarily historically sound. And the parts that are historically sound are distorted in such a way to fit the biblical codex writer's narrative. And I will show that the Canaanites are also the people of ancient Arabia, and that these people that we can call Moors, and I have several references for that, also inhabited North Africa. I don't know, I didn't watch Ron Dalton's presentation, but there were, and I don't know if he presented this, but I have in my documentation where two inscriptions were left in North Africa, and they were written in the ancient Canaanite language that said, we are the Canaanites, and we have fled before the face of Joshua, the robber son of Nun, right? And they come to inhabit North Africa as the Moors, and then other groups start to come over there. Like, these are some of the things that I've documented over the years, some of which I've shown right here on sa.neter's channel. Not anybody has ever refuted it. So I would love to have that discussion with you after, or whenever me and Apostle have our discussion.
Yeah, you will have to sit down, and like I said, we'll have to know who you say are the Canaanites, who you say, because it's okay. The thing is, you can Google anything and find anybody saying who they believe, or who they say is this. But the thing is that you have to have a timeline. Like, for instance, Noah landed on Mount Ararat, and then from there, that's when they all started to travel, and they all started to travel down, and all throughout the so-called Asia Minor. Now, eventually they made it into Africa, but before that, they all started to inhabit the Mesopotamian area, and a lot of them are still there. They actually have grave sites. Have you found any grave sites from the Canaanites within these areas in Africa? Because the Canaanites are actually known for having.
Well, let me clarify my position, sis, because I'm not making the same argument that Ron Dalton is making. What I'm claiming is that a lot of the major tribes, some of which I've just mentioned, like the Yoruba and the Hausa, they have traditional oral history that states that they are in fact the descendants of ancient Canaan, and I will bring that out. I'm not saying that these people that Canaan itself is in Africa. I'm not making that claim. I'm saying that there is scholarship that shows that Arabia was part of what was called Canaan as well. It was not confined to the area that, because you keep going back to your Bible. And, that's fine. That's your worldview. But my research counters your biblical narrative. And that's one of the things that I would show.
All right, hold on. Hey, Apostle, you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I need you to run the show right quick. You know what I'm doing. I need you to run the show, call on the people.
Okay.
Remember, this Naphtali show, so let her respond when she's ready.
All right. No problem. I got you. 100%. Yeah. Greetings, Naphtali. Once again, Lord Abba and Seven Asar is on the panel. So after I briefly share, if you got a response, sis, you can, or if not, then Asar can jump in. But we'll get it together, man. Only that debate came up. That was more important, a debate than a discussion. And I wanted to do that one real bad.
Yeah, I would have liked the heads up though beforehand. That would have been,
that was
a better way to handle it. No,
Yeah,
I got you.
Better way.
I got you.
Yeah, but
I
it just
got you.
came up. Lord put it in my spirit, and I had to move because there was some dead weight sitting out here, and I had to put it in this place. That's the bottom line. So I'm glad the chat came to
I
us.
just want to say to you, Elder Apostle, that you did a great job on your last presentation. I mean, your debate. Thought you did an excellent job.
Thanks. Census at first was looking raggedy, but they came through. And they came through. I sat up in my bed and I said, Lord, because that PowerPoint took some time to put together, and I had a very short time to put it together. To finish it. I had started some of it, but to really bring it to a conclusion, and I never really finished it because we ran out of time. But I had to put a stop to that. I ran across that guy back in 2014 on Facebook, and he clouded my channel so heavy, I had to stop him, shut him down on the channel. And I made a mistake because I brought him over here to sa.neter, and I never should have did that. But he asked, so I did it. But I never should have did that. My fault, y'all. But no, I think a lot of times we get names mixed up. And when you look at the genealogy, when you look at Cain's genealogy, and when you look at Seth's genealogy, there's a Cain in Seth's genealogy. People think that's Cain. And then when you come to Canaan, they be thinking the Canaan is Cain. It's Cain. We make that mistake because they don't know scripture, and they conflate scripture. There are two Enochs. There's an Enoch in Seth's line. There's an Enoch in Cain's line. They get it mixed up. So you really have to study and know who you're talking about. But how the hell somebody say the Twa is the Canaanites? No way. I mean, that's no way. Now, as far as Igbo stuff and them saying they're Canaan, I believe that the Igbo and the Awe, I believe that they're Israelites. And yeah, they did come from Canaan. They lived in Canaan, like we all lived in Canaan. Israel lived in Canaan. So Apple, I think that's where you're getting that association from. But according to DNA, that's the reason why they just made DNA illegal in Israel. Because the Canaanite DNA that's in this system, in those Ashkenazi Jews. When they did DNA to find out, when they wanted to connect, whether to see if the down in South Africa, The they still keep Torah today. Say they the tribe of Levi. They even dress like the small hat. What's them people down there? They black people.
Limbo.
The limbo. Right. When they wanted to do that test, as if they had ancient Hebrew text, DNA, which they don't have. What it showed was that the Ashkenazi Jew has less than 20% DNA of that Kohen, or I say Kahan gene that's within the Kahan. The limbo is carrying 48 to 50% DNA. Way more.
Real quick. Naphtali can cut in anytime she's ready, whenever she wants to say something, because it's her show. So,
yeah.
Naphtali, if you feel that they talking too much, you can cut right in.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was closing it. I'm done with just saying. I just wanted to say to her once again, a great show. There's traces through DNA of the Canaanite people are still in that same area of Jordan. They Cain heavily moved in, not Cain, but Esau heavily moved into Mount Seir, because that is the land of Jordan, Petra, the cleft of the rock.
And I just want to cut in real quick, Elder Apostle. If there's anything anybody wants me to answer, please leave it in the comment section. I'm going to look into the chat and answer them if you need me to. But go ahead. If any of you guys have anything you all want to ask me on the panel, let me know too.
I'm just giving it to Asar.
Okay, thank you, my brother Apostle. I appreciate that. I want to say peace to you, Queen Naphtali. I appreciate what you, the information you presented. Peace to you, brother Lord Abba. Always good to see you, brother. And of course, peace to you, Elder Apostle Zaquan, the great Elder Apostle Zaquan. Peace to you. But I want to say to you, Sister Naphtali, this is my first time speaking with you, but I've seen you numerous times, and I have to give you props. One of the things I love about you is that you harbor no fear, and you stand on what you believe, and you're willing to speak on it, to debate about it, to have discussions about it, and I appreciate that in you. That's not everybody can stand firm on what they believe, so I mean that's a great thing that you're doing, sister. What I'm in opposition of you is I've seen from those discussions that a lot of people have corrected you on your research, and one of the things I would suggest for you is to just look at some of the stuff that they're doing. I mean, Brother Lord Abba is a great researcher, and look at the information, and really do a fair comparison, because you believe in the historicity of this book. You believe the Bible is historical.
Yes, I do. It's my foundation.
Okay, so you believe the Bible is historical, although scientific, archaeological, and historical consensus doesn't, right? You agree with that?
Do you have a source to showcase what you're speaking on it? Do you have anything to prove that it's not historically accurate?
I'm in my vehicle, so I can't pull up anything.
Okay.
But what I can tell you, sister, is that it's a consensus, right? I'm not giving you my opinion on it at all. Just asking you if you know it's a consensus. So I appreciate you wanting me to source. I appreciate that. But I'm just asking you, do you recognize that that is the consensus from the professionals who does the methodology of all of those trades? Would you agree with that?
I'll say that one more time.
Would you agree that that's the consensus? Whether or not what I believe or don't believe has nothing, whether I can prove it or not prove it has nothing to do with my question. My question is, do you you understand that the consensus of the people who practice the methodology and those professional in those professional fields that I mentioned all oppose that the Bible is historical in the sense that you speak on it.
Well, the thing is this, right? The Bible has always gotten it right. The Bible has not forgotten about the Hittites, but history has. They
So
didn't.
that's a yes. That's a
Hold
Don't
on.
cut
yes,
her
right?
off. No,
Hold on.
hold.
Hold
She's
on. Hold
talking.
on. Hold
Don't cut her
on.
off.
Hold on.
Okay, I'm just
Find
waiting
out.
for an answer.
Hold on. They
She's
didn't find
the
out until the
Don't
late.
cut her off. Go ahead.
Let me start over, okay? The thing is this: the Bible has never. The Bible is authentic, and it is a great source of history. It has never forgotten about the Hittites. It was a valid source about the Hittites, and then they just came across the Hittites not until the 19th and the 20th century. However, the Bible has always remained firm about this group of people who have been very prestigious all throughout history. With the Hittites is where we get the language that we speak currently from, and the Bible speaks on the Hittites' achievements. It speaks on their class, their experience with the children of Israel, and the children of Israel with their experience with them. They had these chariots of iron, and they were ruling over the children of Israel. So you're wrong. Then it was not discovered in the late 19th century until the 20th century, as far as when the Hittites, when the these so-called historians, they're late. They have a head start because the Bible provides them that. It gives them the idea, and then when they go find it, they can, the scriptures tells them about it. So it's pretty much like a head start that the Bible is providing.
Okay, so that was a yes.
She disagreed with you, man.
Yeah, she disagrees.
Oh, she disagrees with the consensus. She disagrees with the consensus. That's what you're saying.
She disagreed with what you were saying.
I mean, I'm just trying to get a clear answer. That's all. I mean, I heard everything that she says. I'm not debating. I'm not debating. I didn't ask any questions about any of that.
I
But
said she agreed. She disagreed with what you're saying.
I hear you, brother Apostle, but I'm speaking to the sister. Let her answer. Let her speak. Now, what'd you say, sis?
And I did. I disagree with what you're saying.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I have no issues with that. Now, when we speak about the lineage of the Israelites, because I do agree that Israelites are Canaanites according to the Bible, so I agree with you there. I don't have no issues with that.
We're not Canaanites.
I need to know, how did you come to that consensus? How are the Israelites the Canaanites?
Yeah, we're not Canaanites.
How did you?
You're not from the land of Canaan.
We dwelt in the land of Canaan. We're not from there. No.
No, we're not.
You dwelled in it. You dwell. Okay. All right. Well, but I have a deeper question to ask. That I don't want to get sidetracked with what I wanted to ask. So your lineage is of Jacob.
We welcome the Egyptians as well. That does not mean that we are Egyptians, right? So the thing is this: the children of Israel are not the Canaanites. We do not have the same lineage. We do not go, our table of nations does not derive from them, and we did not live in the land of Canaan. What happened is, like I said, when you go into the extra biblical text, the Book of Jubilees, the Canaanites stole the land of Shem. They stole our land.
Actually,
that's fair. That's fair. That's fair, sis. But my question was, we got sidetracked.
He gave it back to us when they stole it from us. So the Book of Jubilees tells us, it lets us know that when we were supposed to be going to get our land, it came just like the garment that was supposed to be given to Shem. Here comes these Canaanites, these Hamites. The Hamites keep coming in, they keep stealing from us, they keep taking. So that's what's going on, is the Hamites are the ones that are taking us, and they're also changing the history. But the Bible's
you breaking up,
okay,
sis.
thank you.
We didn't hear
Yeah, I was about to say.
your last So you might want to
I
repeat.
didn't, but here's the question I actually really wanted to ask her.
Hold on.
Yeah, Asad, let me jump in, bro. You kind of going in right now.
Y'all hold on for a minute.
I mean, I
did not
can't. I
hear
mean,
her
everybody's
last.
interrupting me, and I'm trying to get some communication with the sister.
You are
And
interrupting the sister.
I let her speak, brother. I interrupted her once. I let her speak after that.
I have my own channel. Hold on. I got my own channel, and if you really want to have a conversation with me, and that goes to you, Lord Abba, you guys can come on over there with me one day. We can set something up, and we can actually have a real deep conversation.
I'm with that. I'm definitely with
I don't have no problem with that.
You can actually provide a presentation, and I'll sit back and I'll just watch.
Okay, we can do that. We can do that. I'm with that.
Okay, yeah. That's peace. That's
Brother Asar, hold on for a minute so she can hear me. Your last comments, I did not hear them. You were breaking up. So I just want to let you know that if you wanted to repeat your last words, I want to give you that opportunity. When you was talking about how we were displaced,
yes,
how the land originally was ours. But go ahead.
It's very important. Yes, guys. So this land, the so-called land of Canaan, was originally the children of Israel. What ended up happening when you're going into the book of Jubilees, chapter 8, what ended up happening is Noah was getting ready to give the allotments to Shem, Ham, and Japheth. When they were all going to their land, Canaan saw the land that was supposed to go to Shem, and he was jealous. A lot of this has to do with jealousy. And what ended up happening is he went in and he bogarted and he stole our land. So what the Most High did was the Most High, eventually we got our land back, and then we got kicked out of it, and they're still there. The Canaanites have never left. They're still there, and they actually can, there's, these people really did exist. They have their graveyards, and they actually did DNA analysis on them, and they're finding out their DNA goes back more than 90% to these people. So they are the
families are there to this day.
I'm glad you said. Okay, when you talk about the DNA, because that's what I wanted to. That's what I wanted to discuss. I'm glad you used the word DNA. Okay, you say the DNA of what? What is it? What is the DNA? What DNA are they testing?
They tested the from the bones of the burials of the people in Canaan. They tested their DNA and compared it to the DNA that's there today, that's in that same area. And for the most part, a lot of them carry that same DNA, that of the graves they dug. And the bones
Okay. Okay, so in the land of Canaan and the Israelites aren't Canaan. You just okay. So do they have Israelite DNA?
The Israelite DNA they have is basically from the Ashkenazi Jews. That's all they have.
Okay, who the Ashkenazi Jews connected to?
Let me just say this: they have discovered, I think, the grave of David. They discovered the grave of David.
David from the Bible?
David from the Bible, yes.
And it's a historical consensus that that's David in the Bible, or is it a biblical consensus?
No, they are. What do they do when they find a historical site, Lord Abba? What did they do?
Bro, the first thing they do is document it. That's the first thing they do.
But they
they'll compare it,
and they excavate.
Then they compare it to extant information that's already existing. So, and I'm going to show this in our discussion or debate, Apostle, because there are historical artifacts that existed.
The only thing I'm interested in is if the Moabites are Moors. I disagree.
I got you.
Can you finish your point, brother Abba? Can you finish your point, brother?
Because I got it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the historical documentation, and I want to prove a point that just because a people is listed in the Bible doesn't mean that they originate there. Yes, you could find Hittites in the Bible, but the Egyptians have on their walls carved their battles with the Hittites. So it's easy for any codex writers to take history and craft it the way that they see fit after the fact, which is exactly what the biblical codex writers did.
She mentioned that the Battle of Kadesh.
Okay.
I
Wait a minute.
know,
Thank
I
you.
know.
Thank you, Lord Abba, because what I'm trying to get to is there's no direct DNA evidence of an Israelite. There is none. There's people who theorize that
Well,
this could be.
but
Oh, wait, hold on.
you guys
Let,
can
let,
know.
let me can I finish my statement? I just want to. I'm going to be 30 seconds. I just wanted 30 seconds.
We can interrupt at any time. You heard that?
Okay. All right. Go ahead, sis.
Interrupting you.
I hope you allow me to respond, Queen Kelly. I hope
will.
you would allow me.
I'm
speaking to the sister, Apostle. I'm speaking to the sister. Go ahead, sis.
Just please relax. I'm going to please. We're going to have a conversation. That's why it's called a conversation, because we go back and forth. But
Indeed,
you talk about the evidence. There's, like I said, the Bible is the foundation. Everything builds off of that. Everything grows off of that. It's the tree of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? It's what everybody has been utilizing to be able to continue on with history. You said there's not very much information on the Israelites. They said the same thing until they found it all around in the Naphtali stele. You know what I'm saying? The Naphtali stele talks about the children of Israel. So there's tons of, historical references that showcases that the children of Israel actually did exist. So just because they haven't found it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. That's just their carelessness. The Bible has always been a valid source. They're just the ones that are trying to catch up, and they just can't keep up. But the thing is, they're coming. They're like I said, they said that children of Israel didn't exist, and here we have all these different, sources, release, sales that showcases that the name Israel.
All right, Asad.
Are you finished? Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate the fact that you admit that they haven't found it yet, and the conclusions you're coming off of is on information that's not complete, and you're making these assumptions and these interpretations based on the information that you have. That's fair. But because information isn't there doesn't mean that it doesn't exist either. That's why we go and test history. So that's why we go and we do the method that Lord Abba was speaking of. And when those methods are incomplete, we can't speak of things in a matter of fact. And that goes to my original point is by a matter of fact.
You can't speak in things as a matter of fact, but we can. Like I said, I don't know if you've seen my whole presentation, but not only did I showcase it biblically, I also showcased it. You said my sound?
No, I said it doesn't sound like he saw it.
No, you must have missed it, because whenever I talk about something biblically, I also showcase it historically.
But then again, a lot of times they ignore what we say. They dismiss what we say. They never take it. They very seldom, they reject it on the onset. They just reject it. They don't want to hear it. Like I can say, they found Mary Magdalene's tomb. They know where it's at. Got her name on it. Got her remains in it. They found Christ's family's family plot, the ossuaries, with the father's bones in the ossuary. And right on it, it has in Aramaic the name Yahusha, family, Mother Mary, Mariam, is right on the ossuary.
Did they take DNA tests? I'm just curious, being that that's a part of this thing.
I don't know. It's the same thing with Noah's, the Noah's Ark. The Turkey government has taken over the site and won't allow no examinations, no further. Like that guy over there in Egypt, he shuts it down the same way. They won't let him go underneath the pyramid to see what that is underneath the pyramid. That satellite show that goes 2,000 feet deep under the pyramid. It's a damn city. But he shut it down.
Thank you for that, Brother Apostle. But I just want to tell the sister I did see her presentation. It was very informative. But I wanted to say that because you believe don't mean that I have to believe, which you agree with. So my methodology of how I look at something as fact is different from yours. So it's fair for you to have your methodology and what you want to believe in absence of evidence. I can't argue against that.
All right,
All I can say is I disagree.
hold
Yeah,
on.
it's
Anybody
not
have any questions? Any questions for Naphtali in her presentation? Are there any questions for her?
Yeah, I was asking some. Lord Abba was asking some.
Yeah, all right. I'm watching the game as well, so I'm gonna fall back. Maybe we can set up the I don't know. I got presentations on this stuff already. Maybe I can do
You
a presentation.
You want Apostle
Uh,
first, right?
yeah, of course, of course.
I mean,
I
it's
have.
not a debate. He got that. It's not a debate, but he got it.
It's a debate.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, if you want to make it a debate, we can make it a debate. I have a PowerPoint
it's
ready to go.
it's just what he did with my brother. With the last thing you had.
Oh, with Smash.
That's what we discussed. So,
I mean, just to be clear, I said we could have a discussion like we did with Smash, or like I did with Smash, or we could have a debate, whichever one you wanted to do. You said discussion. But I have a PowerPoint ready to go. And one of the things that I'm going to show, because I'll listen to both of you and Sister Naphtali speak about history through the biblical worldview. And people believe what they want to believe. I'm not here to knock what a person believes, but I want to show inconsistencies. And I'm going to use an actual historical artifact to prove my point. And then I'm going to trace it from those artifacts all the way up through the line till we get to the medieval ages, where we get this source of contention between me and Apostle that Moabites are Moors, because he said that was crazy. He said just because they was called Almoravids, I remember, that doesn't mean,
that's not the same. Anything that has anything to do with Moor is no connection with the Moor.
I'm gonna
don't have a Moor. There's no more in it.
Hold on, brother. Because you've not done this research. So right now, and that's why I put my paper in the back channel. I was hoping that y'all would read it and then we would come back and have this discussion. Because if you would have read the paper, you would have in fact seen.
Why don't you come on and present it? Because it sounds like you.
Okay,
hold on.
Okay, I can do that. Look, this is what we can do.
You want to talk more about whether Moabites or Moabites. You want to you got a presentation. I don't have anything like that.
Because I'm a straight. Yeah, because I'm going to string it all together. I don't want to. Hold on, brother Apostle. I don't want to take this one little piece and then I'm just dealing with this handful of sources that's static to one point in time. I gotta lay out the timeline so that people can understand. First and foremost, the Moabites do not originate in the Bible. They are an actual real people historically. That's the first thing that I'm going to do.
Spell that word.
Spell that word. Which word?
Just said those people you just said. Who are you talking about? Spell it.
Moabites?
Yeah. Spell it.
Okay, so the original transliteration is M-O apostrophe A-B. That's one way to spell it. The other spelling is M-O apostrophe A-V. Do you deny that?
I don't.
Or do you agree?
I do not agree that the Hebrew language contains a V. The original Hebrew language during the time of the Moabites, that there was a V in that out. There was no Aramaic back then.
I'm speaking, hold on, but I'm speaking to the transliteration, right? Because that B, and I'm going to show that in the presentation. How does that B sound turn into a V sound? So I understand what you're saying right now.
That happens in the Masoretic. It happens in the Matrix Lectionis.
So,
But that's
so
not
the point.
original
Oh,
Hebrew.
wait a minute, Apostle. So the point is, when we're looking at the word al-Moravid, al is just a definite article, the. When we're looking at al-Moravid, id just simply means the people of, which leaves us with the word Morav or Marab, Marab. I'm going to use the historic. You could say what you want about me, but I'm going to present what's written in the historical records. That'll
Sounds
be
like
for
you talking
everybody else
Arabic
to
to me.
impugn and call false or whatever, whatever. But
That
this is
sounds
what's
like
written.
All right. Well, you know,
Uh,
like you're
it doesn't
talking
seem like we're
Aramaic,
getting
man. Go
anywhere.
ahead.
all
Hey, the
right, yeah,
sister is
I don't
speaking.
want
Let
to
the
step on
sister
the
talk.
sister's time. Yeah, yeah. All right,
Yeah, yeah,
let
let her
me
talk.
jump off, y'all. Sister
Yeah, I'm about to be
Naphtali,
out too.
I would love to come on one day and give a breakdown. His sa.neter and see if we can make that happen.
I think that's what you
That's
should do.
even better, please.
And
That
after you present it and I get an idea of what you want to talk about, then I can build something up. But right now,
No, Apostle,
you know
you
what
going to get this word first.
huh?
No, we ain't doing that. Nah, I'm going. So
No,
this
you
is what
need
we can
to
do. All
I
right, because I want to get off. Look, I want to get off. I want the sister to finish doing her thing. Because I've been on here and I know what it's like to. Hold on, Apostle. This is what I'll do. I'll give my presentation, right? And you can watch right there on sa.neter, and then you can come on and challenge any of the points that I presented. Because I already know your arguments about Moab, and you're coming from the Bible. So that for me isn't something that I necessarily have to prepare a counter for. We got to go all of these different rounds. I just want to prove my research. That's it.
cool.
And
Cool.
then you could debate it, disagree, discuss, etc., etc. That's cool.
Okay. That's cool.
All right,
Now,
y'all. All right, y'all.
I
Peace.
can't defend something I don't
Peace, peace.
know.
well, I
No
think,
doubt.
like you said, Lord, I would, yeah, go ahead and do that. I look forward to seeing it. Like I said, guys, when it comes to these Canaanites, well, Seven or Sard, if you have something you want to leave out there.
What you got,
Yeah, I just
Stella?
wanted to say I appreciate your presentation. I'm definitely going to take you up on having a discussion with you on your channel. And what's the name of your channel again?
Yes, guys. So my channel is Naphtali's New School of Thought. Please come on over. I got an actual presentation that I did on the Canaanites. I have several, a 4-part series, but I just had one I just did about a week ago. And
Some of the mods, please put Naphtali's address in the chat.
yes, thank you, Elder Apostle.
Yeah,
Yes,
please put Naphtali's
channel. And please, guys, subscribe
thank you.
to the channel. You know, it's hard out here for a sister. But
Yeah,
let's go.
but yeah,
Okay, got somebody else, Naphtali. You got Rebel.
let me just say peace to the queen before he does that. I just want to say, sis, that I definitely want to have a conversation with you where we can share some sources and have some hard conversations. I'm down with that, and I want to say peace to everybody on the panel.
All right, bro. See you later. Go ahead, brother. Introduce yourself and what's your question? You muted. Mute yourself.
I think he's frozen. Rebel?
Rebel, you might have to go out and come back in.
Yeah, I think he's frozen.
I don't know if Si's going to be here to let you back up, but you muted or you're frozen. You're probably going to have to go out and come back in. Si, you around? Only Si can let him up, so. Yeah, once again, Naphtali, I enjoyed that. I got nothing but, support for Ron. Okay, we got somebody else, the Virgo. What's your question for the sister? Unmute yourself. Introduce yourself, how to pronounce your name. Don't tell me. No.
Hey, Most High bless the Virgo. Is that how you say it? The Virgo?
Unmute yourself. Oh, he's gone too. I try to respect Ron and his information, but I sure didn't know that he said that the Twa
Yes.
was
Yes.
Canaanites.
Yes. Yes. The pygmy twa. And the thing is, you know, when everybody thinks of the Canaanites, and this is how the Christianity they're teaching everybody is to view the Canaanites as if they are the weakest, because they're
Right.
supposed to be the servant of servants. However, the children of Israel, when they mess up, they become the servant of servants.
Right.
They're the ones that go down low, and then the ones who are supposed to go up higher are the ones that the head will become the tail, and the tail will become the head, and
Right.
that's what's happening. And the thing is, they want to keep us down as the tail because that way they can continue to rule. And how do they do that? By Esau, he completely spoiled his seed. Do you really believe Esau was over here being with the pygmy twa in the bushes, getting it in the bushes?
All right. You got the Virgo back. You want to come on, man, introduce yourself and ask the sister question.
Most High bless the Virgo.
Can't hear you.
Yes, how y'all doing?
Great. We hear you now.
Doing good. How about yourself?
All right. Y'all hear me now?
You hear you now.
All
Loud and
right.
clear.
I want to say greetings to both of you all. And like you say, long time no see, Queen. My question is,
turn on your camera. Eliyah, turn on your camera.
my question is, I'm questioning the authenticity of the Bible. Do you know it was forced on us, right? That the Bible was forced on us to read. That at one time in history that we either took Christianity or got our necks chopped off. Are you familiar with that narrative? That's my question.
So the thing is the Bible was not forced on us. It was actually reintroduced to us, right? What was forced on us is this so-called evolution, this so-called Christianity, and this so-called, these other, so-called religions, these Islam and all of that stuff is what's forced on us. The Ethiopian Bible is actually the oldest written Bible, the oldest written text. So we had the Bible before they did. The Romans have never, the Romans have never worshiped the Most High. Even though they want to say they converted over to Christianity, but when you actually look into the actual, what Christianity is, the Mormons, he came in, he was supposed, with the Mormons, he was trying to take away the paganism because they were mixing the paganism with the Bible. And when you look at Christianity, it's filled with paganism.
Excuse me for a minute, Naphtali.
It's Sunday.
You see what's in the chat? You see that comment, Si?
Which one you talking about?
Watching.
Yeah, what about him?
Oh, I think it's offensive, man.
Naphtali got Big Mama in the back, getting the kids together.
Getting them kids together.
Yeah. Damn, I ain't no watch her get down doing that.
Yeah,
you get rid of that. That's not good. I mean, watch it. You got to go on timeout for 30 minutes for that one, bro. And Eliyah, you got to turn on your camera if you want to come in, man. All right, go ahead. Y'all finish?
Yeah, no, she's talking. Go ahead.
Yes, so like I was saying, when I was talking about it, the Christianity is filled with paganism. Like right now, Easter is still the religion of Ishtar. And so the Lutheran and Mormon, they came in to try to revamp and reestablish and take out the paganism and try to, like the Seventh-day Adventists, all of them are trying to come in and, actually put the this religion to the Bible, but they're not. What they're doing is that they're keeping us, they're still worshiping their gods, which they have never stopped worshiping. They've never stopped worshiping their God. All they did was just hijack the Bible. But we're starting to realize that and realize their place in the Bible. Not Japheth. No, they're not Japheth. And if somebody wants to say they are, please come up and show me how.
Okay, well, my next question will be then, I know you're an advocate, reader of the Bible, so you believe in spirit, right?
I do, yes.
So then you know that we are spirit before we flesh. Am I correct?
Well, you know, I have to be careful with where you're going because this conversation can go somewhere else. But yes, before we are, before we are in our body, we are in our spirit. Before we're in the body, in the flesh.
Okay.
Before we existed before this reality. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. So now, wouldn't you say if we take the Bible literally, we're not going in the right direction? If we spirit before we flesh, then we're going in the wrong direction. We're supposed to be coming from the spirit side to the flesh. Wouldn't you agree to that logic?
Well, that's exactly what we did. How did we not do that?
Okay. Well, because here's the thing. When you are speaking as if these people existed on this physical plane, when the Bible is telling you that it's allegoric and that it's mythology and that these pictures of these plays going through the Bible is for your subconscious to get a clear understanding of what we should do individually in order to have enlightenment to rise to the gods that we truly are. So when you teach it and live and think that it is talking literally when it's talking spiritually, you're going in the wrong direction. I'm gonna name off a few teachers that inspired me and enlightened me. Brother C. Freeman L., he opened my eyes. I don't know about if you know this guy, Brother A.A. Rashid, he opened my eyes. Brother Panic opened my eyes. Dr. Phil Valentine. These people put me in a position where I can comprehend my spiritual self, know thyself. And then I looked at the Bible from a bird's eye view, and I understand it more clearly now when I deal from a metaphysical point of view. I'm not saying that you're not going to get there, because I know you're going to get there because you're an avid study of the Bible. But my point is this right here. It's not literal. These people did not exist. Our ancestors were so clever and so spiritual. They knew how to get the information to us in a way that it touched our subconscious. By you reading the stories, it's going to give you heads up, more potential to go into the spiritual realm and internalize what you truly are. When you were speaking on the Canaanites in metaphysics teaching mean the elemental force of the subconscious. This realm, if you go back to Kemetic teaching, the first principle is mentalism. And one of the other principles is polarity. We in a system that these laws are in effect. And if you're not
let me interject. Let me interject for a minute. Because now we got a teacher. She's sitting here. You teaching the teacher.
Okay,
That's not what we're coming up here for. So
she should be a student teacher.
Hold on. Okay. And maybe whatever power you depend on will put you in the opportunity or position to do that one day. But right now ain't the time. So I just want to let you know that, and she gonna respond to you, but I just want to let you know that in many points you're right, but it's not like everything in the Bible is meant to be taken metaphorically. Not everything. Some things. And the Bible lets you know when these things are metaphoric. Even
that's
Christ,
why I got on the polarity. That's why I was talking about polarity.
Hold on. Even Christ said he spoke in parables, and why he spoke in parables, but he gave us the understanding. He just didn't walk around all day speaking in parables. He didn't walk. Sometimes we can keep our head up in the sky so much that we so heavily bound, we no longer earthly good. We just think everything is of the spirit, but it's not. You got to wash that body, because if you don't wash that body's going to stink. Yeah, the spirit is important, and we have to utilize it. But you can't come up in here telling somebody how to receive the Bible. You can do that when you teach it. But right now it's time to ask her questions about her presentation rather than to teach.
Well, I want to intercede in there. Thank you, Brother Apostle. So my thing is this: do you believe the Bible is a historical book, or no?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. Well,
because here's why I don't believe it's a historic book. When you look at in Genesis, jumping off in the muscle, the first book of the Bible, who was there to write down all of the depictions, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, the tree of life? Who was there? How did Moses get this information and write it down? Who was there when Cain killed Abel and Cain said, well, if you kick me out, they're going to kill me? Who was the people on earth if Adam and Eve was the first? Then you go in the New Testament.
Adam and Eve was the first. See,
well,
it's your understanding.
That's what the Bible.
No. That's opinion. That's opinion.
So I can't read.
Some of us believe that there was a creation before Adam. So, and I'm not saying it was.
We talk about the Bible now.
And we talking. Genesis 1:26. Let us make man in our image, in our likeness. Let us make them male and female. He didn't make a male and then saw the male was lonely. And then, no, they made the male and female together. So,
okay, so what you talk about? I said
Genesis 1:26 and 27.
In the Bible, they was written as the first humans on this earth, bro. That's what I said.
Where you see that taught in the Bible? What scripture says they were the first humans?
Okay, you got a point. You got a point.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say it like this. Well, that is the way it's taught in the church community.
Where I get this from? If that's the way it's taught, there's not no other way of teaching. That's the only way of teaching.
Well, I'm gonna say it like this.
You can ignore 126 and 127.
You asked me a question, and I want to explain to you why I don't believe that is historical fact. And I'm telling you from its point of view that the scriptures that I read points to in the New Testament. It tells you that it's allegoric.
I'll tell you what. No, it's not saying.
Yeah.
No, It's not saying the whole Bible is allegory. It's talking, when it says it's allegory, he says these things, talking about these things at that time. This is allegory. And what was allegory was Sarah and Hagar.
Well, what she was at in
That
the Old
was
Testament or the
allegory.
New?
That's in the New Testament,
right?
That's in the New Testament. It says
But I'm
it right
saying
in the New
Sarah
Testament.
and Hagar was in the Old Testament, and they were
Right.
speaking in the New Testament about Sarah and Hagar that said that
Paul
these
was
things
saying-
fell apart, which
Right,
was Abraham's wife.
That point was an allegory. That's what Paul is saying. What he's saying is not that Hagar did not have Ishmael, nor is it saying that Sarah did not have Isaac. What he's saying is there's a parable. The Bible is written in paradoxical form.
Okay.
It can be considered as a parable as well, but it don't mean it didn't exist or it didn't happen. Right now, they are excavating and been excavating for the last 2 years, David.
I'm trying to share my screen, Elder sa.neter, because what the Virgo is saying is, and he needs to, sounds like, you know, you want to be willfully ignorant. Because the thing is, I have a source here, and if sa.neter can share it.
She wants to share her screen.
Okay. Well, I just want to ask you one question, and then I'll take.
I just wanted to ask, finish that.
I just want to ask one question while she putting it up there, brother.
Go ahead.
Do you believe that we are in a world of duality?
I don't know what you mean by that.
That's all. That's what
All
I
right,
want
so
to ask.
let me go ahead and just say this right quick. So the Bible has been speaking on the Hittites, right, before historians, so-called historians, thousands of years, right? So here we see in the late 19th and the early 20th centuries is when the Hittites has been historically founded. Right? They've been confirmed as a historical civilization, not until the late 19th and early 20th centuries. So the Bible has always had it correct, and is a valid source to utilize that these civilizations actually did exist. They talk about this from word of mouth accounts. These are people who are actually experiencing this, living this, and what they're showcasing to us is how these Hittites mightily oppressed these people called the Israelites. We see that, and it's all throughout history. They talk about their the way they have things set up, the structure. They talk about their the way they worship. You know, the barbarianism of it. We see this same type of worship with the Aztecs and the Mayans. We all know that the Phoenicians came over here to the Americas, and they established civilization here. We see the Phoenician writings, the parable inscriptions. So we see all of that. So like I said, only thing that this does is it supports the Bible. It brings the Bible alive. Only thing they're doing is proving the Bible. I don't know why this brings the Bible further away. This should be bringing you more closer to the Bible, because what this is showcasing is how the Bible knew before historians knew. It wasn't like the Bible. It's not like the people who wrote the Bibles, the authors of the Bible, were looking at, oh, with this group here, how do they speak on something that nobody didn't even know existed? That means that the Bible is a very authentic and historical resource. And that's it.
All right.
And of course, in our history, before Moses was born, the Torah was orally kept down, passed down. So by the time Moses came about, these stories have been told and talked about, but mostly the Most High instructed Moses on what took place. That's how Moses recorded it. And if you know anything about the Hebrew language, you know that very first word in Hebrew, beginning, that very first word in Hebrew describes how one is going to come from the house of God
Olive.
and give his life freely on a cross for mankind. The one word, Barashit. That's what it is. Barashit. That's what that word means.
Okay, but this is my question. This is my question. Where in the Bible does it say Moses wrote the Torah? And my next question will be, do you not understand that Moses was in Egypt and he was taught by the Egyptians? Do you
and it goes on and say that
let me make sure I get this out. You have to admit that you were wrong, DeVargo. We can't let you push away from the topic. The topic wasn't about the Bible being a historical. You were talking about the Bible being a historical documentation, like it's not a valid source. And the thing is, what I showcased, I just showcased to you.
You just showed it.
Hold on, I just showed
in the 1900s.
Hold on, DeVargo. I just showed to you and everyone else that before for even able to find this civilization, the Bible spoke of it.
Valentine didn't cost you up so big. Even something before your eyes, you denied it.
Well, I'm
gonna tell you this. I feel like I'm starting to come. I feel like I'm starting to see that you want to be willfully ignorant. And the thing is, I'm starting to see that with
ignorant.
You're not ignorant. You're willfully. You want to be because you don't
like denying the evidence.
And the thing is, the source information is valid right before your eyes. You know what I'm saying? I don't even have to go into the scriptures. I love the scriptures, but I can just go straight with the historical aspect of things as well as the science. The thing is this. Hold on, DeVargo. Hold on just a second. Allow me just to do this really quick.
So y'all got history. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Y'all got history.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
y'all know each other. Yeah. So you come on that channel. You come on that channel quite a bit.
I really want you to break this down for me and let me understand, because all throughout the Bible, you got 66 books. You got patriarchs, you got sages, you got prophets, you got all kind of people, raw people.
My Bible got 87 books. But go ahead.
And so you can go to Egypt, you can go to South America, you could go to Asia, and you can go to all these places and go in the tomb, and they will tell you of different
all right, hey yo, the Virgo, you know what? It's time to close out. I want to let Naphtali close this thing out, man. I want to have a good show here. Thank you, Virgo. Thank you, Apostle. And I want Naphtali to close us out. Take us out.
All right. So, the Virgo, I just want to say to you, hit up my channel, Naphtali Lou. I'm on Facebook Messenger. You guys are Naphtali Israel. And hit me up in Messenger, and we can definitely set something up, and we can actually sit down and we can actually have this conversation. But, guys, I thank you all so much for tuning in. Again, this presentation was about the Canaanites. The Canaanites are indeed the Caucasian, Native Americans, and Hispanics. I provided truth. They provide truth. Hitler himself named himself after the Hittites. So, again, guys, I thank you so much, Elder sa.neter, for allowing me onto the show. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to tune in with me. And shalom and most high bless to all.
Thank you, Naphtali, for blessing the channel once again. Thank you.
That's why vaccines matter.
Peace. Shalom. We out.
Shalom. Most high bless.
Safe as well. Protection starts with a conversation.